RawDawgers Sportscast Live. I'm Sean Watson.
I'm Ryan Kessler.
I'm Brandon Painter.
Great to have you back, Payne. I missed you so much. It's been a bit. It's been a minute, right?
It's a good thing. It's a
Went
good
up
thing
to
you
that
emailed me the rundown.
I know it's
I would have forgotten.
It's last week, right? You're like, oh, I can't just drop shit on 2-minute notice.
No, it was. I would have never thought about it today unless you sent that.
Well, I just included everybody in the email. That we've had on there pretty soon. That's not gonna have enough bandwidth to have everybody actually on the email.
So what do you have to get on for us to see comments? You have to be on YouTube or the actual RawDawgers
For us to
Facebook.
see Facebook, YouTube, anything other than my personal
Okay,
page.
because that's where I always seen it, is your personal page.
Well, and that's where we usually get most viewers because people, if you're watching, please go to our page, Facebook page.
Well, can you get on your Facebook page and just comment, hey, go to RawDawgers to chat?
Yeah,
So people will know.
I think I can.
This is a great idea.
I think I can.
This is a great idea.
I need to share it on my shit too. It's probably gonna pop right up.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Back to the live news.
The day the coaching carousel broke down is what I kind of named this episode. So a lot of coaching vacancies out there, they're getting filled. It's just kind of boom, 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 boom. Of course, the big names that were out there are Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh. Vrabel.
Still nowhere.
Still nowhere.
I don't get that.
We don't know what's Bill Belichick nowhere. But we did find this out just earlier this week. Chargers hire Jim Harbaugh. Signed a new 5-year deal worth $12.5 million a year. I guess originally the Chargers wanted to go ahead and offer him $18 million. Yes.
And he said, no, I don't like money.
Well, come to find
Keep
out
some of that.
Right, yeah. No.
He's like, we'll pay the courts with this $6 million.
Well, I know
you get out of everything.
I know it was getting leaked earlier in the week, even before they went. Schefter, I think, went ahead and tweeted it out. But I guess Michigan was going to go ahead and pay him like $11 million a year. So Dean Spanos finally got in his deep, dark pocketbook and stopped being a fucking cheap ass and said, "Oh, we're going to give you $12.5 million." Of course, a 5-year deal.
So where did the 18 come from?
That was originally what was reported that
okay.
that they originally wanted to give him, but
Apparently
like I said,
wasn't right.
It's
Dean
probably,
Spanos.
Yeah.
It's
and
probably
the cheap
also
Chargers.
just him saying that so Michigan would offer more.
Right.
Then.
Could be too.
And then the
Great
Chargers
point.
would then offer more.
Great point. Yeah, because we know
I
about
would,
Harbaugh. He
I would
went out
totally
and got
spread my own rumor of that.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I was
Sure.
him,
Sure.
just
Great
to
point.
bump
actually.
it up a couple mil.
Yeah. Well, and it's since he went and got that NFL agent. Yeah. Working together.
Who's it? Lamar Jackson? Is that his
No,
agent?
no. Lamar, take some notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take some notes, Lamar. All right. So, like I said, good for Dean Spanos. Harbaugh actually ended up playing 2 seasons with the Chargers. I didn't remember that, actually. But I remember Harbaugh playing, as a
Colts.
kid. Yeah. So, the Bears.
And the Bears.
And the Bears, right? But I don't
Yeah,
remember
Bears.
that. So, Pete Carroll 2.0. I know it's kind of been out there. We've been talking about
Could be.
We've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
He'll be just as good as his brother, I think.
So,
I mean, he already was successful in the NFL.
Yeah.
right. But my question is this, which we knew Pete Carroll wasn't, right? Because he was with New England, and he was with the Jets for a hot minute there, wasn't he?
Well, wasn't he one that, didn't he kind of pull a Houdini on the Jets too, like Belichick?
Yeah. That or they just told him to get the fuck out.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out. So anyway, I guess my Carroll correlation is back into the 2005 when Pete Carroll and they knew the heat was coming down and the Heisman was going to be melted down and they were throwing Reggie Bush under the bus and Matt Leinart and during those USC years, and you thank God for Vince Young.
Right.
But they're saying Pete Carroll, when he went back to the NFL, he built this Legion of Boom defense because he knew all these underrated college guys that weren't already high up in the draft.
Could be.
So he was able to put together, and that's what I think. That's what I think. If he is going to go that route, because the other problem the Chargers have too is they have a cap problem.
Yeah.
They have a
They gotta
problem,
pay Herbert.
right? They have an aging team.
Well, he already got paid, did he?
Well, I don't think it kicks in till.
Well, yeah, like
Yeah,
the
this
big
year.
cap, the
cap
big cap
hit.
number.
Well, they went ahead and they kicked it on down the road.
Well, and they had one of the more expensive defenses in the league.
Yeah, so you got Derwin James, you got Joey Bosa,
Somehow horrible. I
right?
understand that.
And then and you got Khalil Mack.
Khalil
right?
Mack.
So all that, they all have contract issues. They kicked that can down the road to 2024. But then on the offensive side of the ball, you have Mike Williams, you got Keenan Allen, you got
They paid Eckler.
Eckler.
Eckler was just a 1 year though, wasn't it?
I don't know. Was he a 1 year? I just heard that.
I thought he
I
got
would
like a 2 or
assume-
3 year.
I don't
Last
think
year.
they were doing that
'Cause
with
he was
any
hold-
running backs right now.
Well, he was holding out for that, and I'm pretty sure he got a 2 or 3 year extension.
So
I'm sure they could kick the can down the
Even
road a
further?
little bit more.
I don't think anybody's paying running backs anymore. I think
No.
Chubb's about to get fucked,
probably
even though he shouldn't be, but
Right.
he's probably about to.
right, but I could definitely see where there might be a whole different Chargers team come this year if he does go that Pete Carroll route and just clean house, trades guys for what they can get for him, releases guys, and then just starts picking away at the draft like Pete Carroll did, getting guys
Good.
late in the
You
draft.
got good guys
put
to be
together-
able to trade high.
Well, and they already have a pretty good draft pick for having all that talent.
Like if you come off Joey Bosa, you're gonna get a lot, and he really hasn't done that much there.
Right.
right.
So
Can't stay
that'd be
healthy.
a perfect guy to trade.
Well, and aren't they picking like 12th?
Yeah, I didn't look at their draft order actually, but we could probably bring it up. But it's got to be right there, unless they traded away a pick. I don't remember them trading a pick away.
I don't think. Well, maybe J.C. Jackson.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they're-
They did have J.C. Jackson, didn't they? But then did he go to New England?
Yeah. All right. Right now they are picking. Oh, did they not have a first round?
Well, that's what I wanted to know. Are we forgetting something? Where they traded something away? Because the Falcons they had a better record than they did. Didn't Chargers only have 5 wins?
8, but it doesn't say from who.
Yeah, Falcons have 8. That's their pick.
Right, that's their pick.
Oh,
so.
the Chargers are 5.
Okay,
Oh,
our
I was
Chargers
looking
are
for
5.
last pick.
All right,
5. Yeah.
all
I
right.
just wasn't expecting it to be that.
Yeah, I
high.
thought it would be 10 or. I thought they won like 7 games.
It'll be interesting too to see how many picks they have. Of course, you can
At 5, I mean, yeah, if I was them, I'd definitely be exploring getting either Mack or Bosa out of there. I'm sure you could get a good
You don't
pass
need a
rusher at that
quarterback.
spot.
3 of the quarterbacks are going to go.
Well, you're keeping
before
Herbert.
you pick.
Yeah.
Herbert's the guy. You got to have a
Oh,
quarterback to win in the league.
So you're
Well,
getting
we
the
know
pick
that.
after Marvin Harrison goes. So you have literally whoever you want.
Right.
Right.
Except 3 quarterbacks and Marvin Harrison. That's it.
And they could trade back if they want. Get a.
What if he would trade back? I said, and then he gets some more of that deep capital or the deep draft picks that people don't know about.
And they could go
as
wide
much.
receiver there too. That guy out of LSU. If they don't want to pay Mike Williams or Keenan Allen again.
Right.
I mean, Keenan Allen's getting up there.
Well, and I'm hearing that they're probably projected to take a tight end from
That
Georgia.
Georgia.
From Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, get
Bowers.
it.
But man, that's
That's
a
early
high
for
pick for a
Bowers.
tight end. That'd be like me drafting Kelsey in our fucking fantasy league at 6. Reach. I love it. I love it every time. Just fuck everybody's draft orders up. They think they're fucking just throw a fucking goddamn boomerang in there, fucking bomb in there like Mario and blow that fucking shit up.
No, their options are open. I don't think there's no tearing it down to the studs. You could, they could do a few
No.
roster moves.
They're in a good spot for Harbaugh to come in and make a good change.
Out of those,
Immediately.
I don't see how they're not the favorite to win that division next year.
really, even with Kansas City.
Kansas City went 10-7.
Reach.
Yeah, I'm not putting it past Kansas City.
No. They're about to go to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
they
I hope.
sucked in the regular season.
They did.
They'll still get it done.
Who did?
Well,
I
they
don't know.
They barely.
That was my other
almost did.
question. Is Harbaugh going to turn this into a playoff team year 1?
I think so.
Should.
Yeah.
There's no reason that.
Depending on
AFC
the
is tough though.
depending on the personnel.
Look who everybody.
they're-
Look at like. There's,
I'm just saying a wild card. Is
They're
he going
also
to make a
getting-
wild card?
There's threats now in the AFC that weren't threats
Right.
2 years ago.
Well, they're
Like
also getting
Houston.
the last place schedule.
Yeah, true.
That's true. That is true.
That always helps.
That does
It
help.
does. These are factors.
I mean,
Well, I'm sure we're going to revisit this, as it gets later, earlier next year. But
yeah, I was telling you guys how Harbaugh, I'd seen that video somewhere. I wish I could fucking remember who it was. Saying that he loves Herbert, and that would be his, if he could pick anywhere to go, it would be L.A.
well, I mean, that's what
And
we've
they
been
got
talking
it
about.
done,
It was either Belichick or Harbaugh there. I didn't see.
So all the bullshit, when people saying, "Oh no, he's going to take McCarthy." Fucking McCarthy isn't. He's not going in the first round, guys. I don't think.
Why would you?
If he does, it's going to be like really late.
Why would you pick McCarthy when you already have Herbert?
No.
And from whatever video I saw, he loves Herbert already anyways.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. So we know Herbert's going to stay.
And McCarthy's going to be probably a third rounder.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of that's going to be off of the winning the national championship.
Right.
And he, good enough athlete.
You go or getting rid of Austin Eckler, letting him go, bringing Blake Corum.
I don't think they're the same kind of running back.
I don't like Corum.
I don't like Corum in the NFL.
I think
He's too damn small.
I think he's going to go
some guys
third
are
round.
smaller than you think, though.
Third round.
That are good.
But he's like 5'8". I mean, he could be one out of the 100 fucking Darren Sproles, but he's more of a power back, and to be a power back in the NFL, you kind of have to be a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah. The bell cow guy.
You're not wrong.
So the other question is, on the flip side of that, what are we expecting for Michigan? Who's signing there? These types of with all the investigations
Who's
still
leaving?
looming.
Yeah, who's
Well,
transferring?
Well-
I mean, they were already the 15th or 18th draft class this year.
Yeah, so McCarthy and Corum went ahead and declared. So did Roman Wilson, and fuck that guy. Okay, I fucking hate that Riesel fuck. So, all declaring. They're losing tons of starters due to eligibility. Cornelius Johnson, most of that offensive, defensive line, they're losing.
The one guy's fucking leg practically fell off.
Yeah. Offensive tackle, right? He's supposed to go
I
kind
thought
of
it was
high.
our center.
Was it a center? Okay, all right.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no. Whatever.
I don't even remember what his name
That
was.
was in the Buckeyes game.
Everybody cried.
Yeah, they did. You think DeMar Hamlin was out there?
Yeah, you would have. I love that. My CJ should have went to DeMar for the fake punt where he got negative yards.
We're have to bring that up.
They'll probably somehow get player of the year or comeback
Come
player
back
of the
player
year.
of the year. Yeah.
Of course, no. Here's my thing too, and then I'm seeing some information. Of course, it's just for clicks, but Brian Kelly. Could Michigan pull Brian Kelly away from LSU? Automatically loses the Southern draw.
Yeah.
Picks up the Great Lakes slanter, that slide.
I just.
And not knowing that what the NCAA invested,
Yeah,
that's really put what's.
They're going to be in the interim guy that was there last year is going to be their head coach.
The Crier?
They're going to win 8 to 9 games.
Sharon Moore.
If that actually, because I think they got to play SC and UCLA.
They got to play
first
Oregon.
year.
I
They
knew
have
that
Oregon.
for sure.
So they'll
You
probably
see
get.
Lincoln Riley already talking shit. Like, yeah, I'd leave too. My school's coming to that weak ass conference. Like, what have you guys ever done?
That defense, I
With
can't
old
wait to.
fucking fingernail polish.
I mean, they're probably going to win 6 to 7 games. I don't see them being very good. They're losing a lot. They're not getting. There's going to be more people leaving during the.
They're playing
transfer
way better
portal.
defenses.
Yeah, and
I think they could win 8 or 9 games.
they could. I mean, that quarterback
hope
they
so.
that backup quarterback they had looked like a stud. That big, I can't remember his name. That big black dude that would come
Ouija,
in.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like Ouija board?
Yeah. Now he could.
I don't know.
He
I
could
can't
be
remember
something. I just they're really losing a lot.
Yeah,
and
they are.
they're not really
The other running back that kind of ate us alive, he's staying though. I heard that he said that he's going to come back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the big
Donovan Edwards.
Edwards.
Donovan Edwards.
Number
Yep.
7.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
so he's going to come
He
back.
had them big runs against.
Yeah, he did against Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, he did have some big runs in there.
I just have to see more transfers going there. It seems like they're leaving more than they're coming there.
If you're a coach out there, I guess what I'm saying, if you're a coach
I wouldn't
in
go there
college,
this year.
right?
Let them get the death penalty or whatever's happening.
So are they going to pull like that in betweener, like Luke Fickell?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Where you went from Jim Tressel, you got through, you still had your sanctions on the back end because he went 12-0. Urban Meyer went 12-0, but still wasn't bowl eligible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you still had that transitional coach in there.
Yeah.
Could that be Sharon Moore? And
Yeah,
then
probably.
you bring in like a Brian Kelly
Well, that or
who gets ran the fuck out of there.
well, and I think a school like that, and what he did this year with, he was undefeated. I think he's going to have a little more leash than what Fickle had.
Yeah.
Because I just, is it really that enticing of a job? You're going to have to rebuild that thing from the ground up probably once you get there.
Well, and I think Fickle was kind of really just trying to get his foot in the head coaching door.
Yeah, because
then he went to Cincinnati.
Was it right after
Then
that?
he went to Wisconsin.
Was it right after that that he went to Cincinnati?
I think it might have been. It was close.
I'd like to know he gave us our only ever losing season, so fuck him.
All right. So
Fickle is Einhorn.
on the flip side of all this, though, OSU just rolling in the transfer portal.
How happy is Ryan Day now?
Oh,
he's like,
God.
I'll tell you what, I thought he had heart, but he doesn't have heart like these kids.
Did you see where he basically almost fainted at the podium when we signed the basically the number one wide receiver out of Florida, the number one recruit?
No, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
so the kid from I think Highsmith is his name.
idea.
Not just the number one wide receiver, but the number one overall high school player in the country. He almost practically fainted at the podium.
I wish
that
Mark
was really
was
good.
here because he probably knows exactly how long that kid's dick is and everything.
Oh, probably.
He knows his mom's maiden name.
After so the Buckeyes they get Bill O'Brien about a week ago. Then they went ahead and grabbed former 5-star freshman recruit under Nick Saban away from Alabama.
We got 3 people from
Julian
Alabama?
Julian Sayin. Well, you got Julian Sayin, he'll probably redshirt. Okay,
Yeah.
so because he was actually a true freshman last year, and then this last week, and then so now the QB room consists of Devin Brown, Julian Sayin, Lincoln Keenholz, Aaron Nolan, and fifth-year transfer Will Howard from Kansas State.
So how many of them kids are leaving?
Right. So that was my next question. So you have another transfer portal that's going to open up from April 15th to April 30th. Who's leaving? Because I'm hearing Aaron Nolan just came in as a true freshman. He wants to stay. He's already decided that he's staying. So I just off a hunch, I think it's going to be Devin Brown. It would transfer out of there.
Oh,
He should. He's
Right.
not going to start.
No.
again, where number 33 is a quarterback, I already don't like you.
Well,
Bad things should happen to you.
unless he pulls like a Cade Stover and decides to go, on the defensive side of the ball, then
That would
he
be
gets
hilarious.
Laurinaitis' number and starts playing linebacker.
Yeah, he's not that kind of athlete.
No, I don't think so either. But
Greg Louganis, he was an athlete.
the transfer from Kansas State, we know that he's only a 1-year guy. We know that for sure. But
and is
the other guys
kind of set in stone that he's going to start? I feel like
no. But I mean, when you get a 5th-year transfer like that,
he
it's kind
thinks
of like
that probably.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's
Unless, like I said, this new portal is going to open up.
It's about time Jason Day does something other than what he did last year and have a million options at quarterback instead of 0 options at quarterback.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, all the pressure's definitely on here. Oh, yeah, and Caleb Downs from Alabama, one of the best 5-star corners in the country. And the Alabama center, Ryan, that you kept bringing up that, fucked up against Michigan in the semifinal game.
Ass to guard.
Well, beside that, I know you and I were all down on that. We watched that game together, but it's like...
Of course that had to be the guy to come to Ohio State.
That's the guy coming to Ohio State.
He's like, Coach, I can't play guard or tackle. I don't know my left from my right. So I just go to the ball.
So how about
also,
let's get the ball to the quarterback?
The other one maybe you were talking about too, Brandon, was we're also getting the running back from Quincy Judkins. A lot of people
Ole Miss.
from Ole Miss.
That's what I was thinking.
Basically one of the top. So has Ohio State become like the SEC North more now than when Urban Meyer was there? I mean, that's
Probably just because of Saban leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That has to make you feel good, though. I mean, if Nick Saban leaves, the number 2 destination for kids in the country is go to Ohio State.
Because you can't go to Georgia if you're
Right.
an Alabama player.
The other thing about it
You'd
is
just be hated.
if uncertainty wasn't up there in Michigan, how many of those players do you think
would have come to Ohio State?
would have went to Michigan?
Some of them. I think I'm super biased because I
Well, like if
fucking
Harbaugh was still there?
Correct.
Oh, yeah. They just won a national title. They probably would have got...
They may have got some of those
They would have
players
reloaded.
for sure.
that we didn't get, but we got them.
Mm-hmm.
So Harbaugh out, Saban out. Come on, Buckeyes.
Yeah, but we got them before Harbaugh was out.
Yeah, but it's still a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, but
I
still
know, I'm
uncertainty.
just saying.
And I think that probably is what's going to happen with, the coaching situation there. Just like what we talked about. So
Well, and that's why I don't think that guy's got the job for sure this year. Like, why would you change?
Right.
Because at least with the guys that are there, I'm sure he'll at least keep some of those guys at Michigan.
Mm-hmm. So the guys that are coming back too, you got Trevion Henderson. So even Joel Klatt came out this last week. He thinks that Ohio State will have the best backfield in the country, with Judkins and Trevion Henderson coming back. And then we also kept Emeka Buka, JT Tomololau, and Jack Sawyer, and Denzel Burke at corner. So all those guys are going to be coming back, to go with the transfers and in that center from Alabama. Don't fuck our chances up. That's all I'm saying. Don't fuck it up.
Again, he better be moving to guard,
and it's going to be everything.
I just don't understand how you get to that point and at that level of football and can't snap the fucking ball,
especially on a national stage like that.
I mean, did you ever fuck up a snap?
I never pulled on jet sweeps either.
But he wasn't doing that. That didn't happen every time he did that. Those
I know,
pass
but
plays.
it's
right.
Yeah, there's fucking linemen just do crazy shit now.
Right.
It would be hard.
All right. Let's get into a little bit of Browns news this week. Ryan, you basically sent this over to me also. But speaking of Alabama, Browns have now hired Alabama OC and former Notre Dame coach Tommy Rees to be their new tight end coach. Browns also hired Deuce Staley to replace Stump Mitchell.
Why did
thoughts on those hirings?
Did Detroit not have Staley this year?
No,
they didn't.
Where was he at this year? That's right. He was on Hard Knocks last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's right.
He was in Detroit, and then he was... Where the fuck was he again? I just looked this up yesterday.
I didn't read about that either. I didn't see where he... For some reason, I thought he was still in Detroit also.
Philly?
I know he was in Philly. I thought he was in Philly before he went to Detroit. Panthers.
The Panthers. Okay.
He was there for a year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because, he was assistant head coach in Philly and in Detroit.
I bet that guy can't wait to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, can you even name a Panthers running back? I play fantasy football, and I can't even name who they still have Chuba Hubbard, Hubbard or whatever?
Chuba Hubbard, I think, is in there. And who the hell else? Isn't that where Miles Sanders went?
Fuck, who knows?
I think Miles Sanders went there.
Let's talk about irrelevant players.
Right.
Well,
that
fuck you,
talk
Penn
about
State.
A dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I would not want to be a Carolina fan right now.
We're going to get into that a little bit more on these coaching hires, but
yeah.
Damn. Can you just do Staley's like, please come get me.
There,
I saw the picture of him. If you shaved off Stump Mitchell's beard, would it look like the speed knots that are on Deuce Staley's head?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Because that son of a bitch, he's got a forehead.
Always has.
Yeah, he has.
He's a big fat fuck when he was running back, too.
Absolutely. Love the guy. Already love the guy. So, how about Tommy Rees? What do you think about him? Coming in as his tight ends coach?
I think they're making all the right moves right now for the offensive staff. I like having, when they bring people in, they always seem to like bring an ex-player in at some point on either side of the ball. I like it, and I'm not sure about Tommy Rees, but there's got to be something there.
The only thing I wanted to find out was Tommy Rees is already an OC at Alabama.
Maybe he's going to help modernize some of the
Why would he
passing game.
maybe come in as the OC for the Browns even?
Because
that's a big step. That's a big step. I mean, don't get me wrong, but to go from OC...
I'm sure he's going to do more than just coach.
He's
probably
gonna be like
I think
assistant pass game
he's going to
coordinator.
try to work himself into that role.
He should.
Yeah. Of probably head coaching, if nothing else.
Well, and, we'll go through some of the people they've interviewed, and I still put my hat on the QB.
Yeah, go ahead and read some of those off, Ryan, because
So
you're the one that had the info on this on the interviews. With
So
the
they
Browns.
interviewed Kellen Moore, Brian Johnson from the Eagles, the QB coach from the Texans, Rod Johnson, Seattle's O-line coach, Andy Dickerson, and former Bills OC, Ken Dorsey.
So two guys I'd already chalked off the
Which
list
is
right
our
there.
most watched
We
YouTube
saw-
video, I think, ever.
We watched the Philly demise down the stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that guy he's not getting it. Ken Dorsey, fucking out at Buffalo.
Yeah, fuck that. You can't have your team
fuck
do
that
way
guy.
better after you get
So
fired.
I guess, and you brought up a great point too. Number one, and I didn't know this when I was texting you last night. I'm like, does he have history with Deshaun Watson? You said he does since what, 2019?
Yeah, he's been their QB coach since 2019.
Okay, and that makes
And
tons of sense.
I think that makes sense. I think Deshaun's going to greenlight that, and I think it's still going to be Kevin's offense to call. If you could bring in a guy like that, you don't have to give him play calling duties. He's going to be happy to be the offensive coordinator, probably, help modernize what they're doing on offense, get Deshaun more comfortable.
Okay.
I still think Kevin's going to be calling plays. Now, if they hired like Kellen Moore or Ken Dorsey or someone with that,
That's the other one I want to ask you. You like Kellen Moore at all? I thought that was kind of a sneaky one there.
I tell you what,
I actually thought
when
Kellen
he
Moore
was in Dallas.
Go ahead.
I mean,
Yeah, and I actually thought Kellen Moore was going to do better with the Chargers this last year.
I think that just comes
Did
down to
did Brandon Staley just fucking shit on him too and bring him down?
That
at
locker
the same
room
time?
probably just hated everyone.
They did. Remember what was it? Next to the last week, and the Raiders set like a franchise record against the Chargers in that game. I mean, I know
like
Easton
63.
Stick was fucking quarterbacking for the Chargers.
I feel
but
like
still.
Staley should have Baker as his quarterback so they could both just look out there and watch like, it's the time in the fourth quarter to ruin the game. And they look at each other and Baker just winks. He's like, oh, I know. I know what to do.
I almost live betted that drive ending in an interception, and it was literally the first play.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
It was a bad pick, too.
It was bad.
It always
Nowhere
is.
to go with the ball.
always
The
is.
guy's
It was
first
bad.
pick ever as a professional football player.
All right.
Was on Baker's biggest pass of the whole season.
Absolutely.
He was cooking before that, though.
Well, that's exactly why I knew it was going to happen.
Because it should happen.
Right.
Other NFL hires from around the league. Falcons hiring 47-year-old Raheem Morris.
That still blows me away.
Yeah, he was already the interim head coach once in Atlanta under
Vrabel should have went there.
Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
I actually, you and I, Brandon, we talked about that too.
Yeah,
and I'm
Vrabel
like,
should've-
I think Vrabel should have.
I thought it was
Where the
either
fuck's
going
he
to be
gonna go
Vrabel
now?
or Belichick.
I don't know. Unless
Where's
he's going to
Belichick?
sit
He's
out.
He's not going to go to Washington, I wouldn't think.
I mean, there's still is going to go to Bush.
He's not going to go to
the
Michigan.
college. No, he's not fucking going there.
Where?
Michigan.
Oh, no.
No.
Maybe he's
Why
done for a
didn't they
while.
fucking hire him in New
Well, and here's the
England?
other thing. So
How stupid is
the
that?
Falcons actually, it was reported the Falcons gave Bill Belichick 2 interviews.
Yeah.
So they thought he was the guy. He was
Well, he's right.
he was
Hey,
going to go.
Look, guys.
It's too warm.
I'm not coming here unless I get to fucking do everything.
I don't play in a dome.
Right, I don't play it down.
How could I flex my badass cutoff sweaters?
Right.
True.
You guys are going to have to crank the fucking AC in here.
Yeah. Your
Not
quarterback, he doesn't have big enough hands.
Not only are you going to pay me $12 million a year, you're going to have to pay at least $7 million a year for cooling this fucking place. And I want 10% of the company.
That was going to be my next question. You know, you go in there with old man Arthur Blank, who's already come out and said that, hey, that's why I'd like to know what happened in that interview process. Like, obviously, probably those two didn't come to an agreement.
Well,
Belichick having all those
the control.
years
It's the control.
of being the GM plus the coach.
Yep.
The guy's 71, 72 years old now. He still wants to call the shots. If truth was known, he'd want to be the fucking owner. He might have went in there and said, yeah, I don't just want to be the GM and the coach. I also want your job.
Yeah.
And that's why the first interview apparently only lasted 28 minutes.
Fuck FanDuel. I've been betting on these games for 30 years. But I got money in the Caymans you wouldn't even want to know about.
Robert didn't pay me that way. After we would kiss, he would pay me in other ways.
Well, I would, and then kiss Tom. And
then Tom would pay me a bonus every Super Bowl.
Where the fuck does he go, though? He doesn't want to not coach.
I hope he does want to not coach. Because it's honestly been kind of sad.
Yeah.
I would have hoped they would have both the fact Tom won another Super Bowl was cool just to prove it wasn't Belichick. But I wish they would have just both fucking retired at the same time and just rode out.
Well, in that year
The
after he
sunset.
left, they went 11-5, went to the playoffs. He said, all right, I did it with a rookie quarterback. Fuck yourselves. I'm gone.
Yeah, should have. But he probably thought he could do it again.
And
Mac Jones is not it.
No. You can't have that nice of man titties and be a good NFL quarterback.
You can't play in a game where you only have 3 pass attempts and one of them is an interception.
Yeah, because if that was the case, I'd be like Uncle Rico. I'd throw that fucker out.
Because if that was the case, you'd be Bailey Zappi and you would have 2 attempts and 2 picks. Because that also happened.
Yeah, it did. It did.
I thought it was either going to be Atlanta or the Chargers for him. I mean,
yeah.
And they said they're talking about Washington, and that'd be like the one franchise where they'd be like, all right, yeah, please, you take the heat for this, because that's studs. Like he's going to have
a lot of studs there.
I mean, it's down to the studs though. They traded
Oh,
away
I
their
thought you
whole
meant-
defensive line.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have pieces.
Need a quarterback. Need an offensive line. Sam Howell, most sacked fucking quarterback.
You need an offensive line. He could probably do all right with Sam Howell, but they're not going to be a Super Bowl contender. I don't even think he cares about really getting to that extent. I don't think he wants all that. I think he wants the Shula record.
That's a good point.
I think
that's
he
a
hates his
great
wife.
point.
He just doesn't want to be
Another
home.
great point. But yeah, I don't think he wants to go as far as like the Redskins. I mean, you're right with them being down in the studs. I mean, those guys.
How many games is he back? Like 30?
I think it's 26 or 32
so that's,
maybe.
That's fucking 3.
It could be 3 years
on a
away.
good team.
Probably 4 years.
With a shit team. Absolutely. And you figure at Washington, I mean, in Atlanta, let's say you went there, that's a winnable division.
So what?
Like every
who
year.
all needs a coach still? Oakland hired somebody.
Seattle
needs a okay.
That would be a good place for him.
And
I could see that.
Washington. So the Redskins
That's
and
it.
the Seahawks.
And
That's
you
it.
have
for now.
2 very
I'm
top
sorry,
tier coaches.
17.
He only needs 17?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's
Wow.
2 seasons. That's
Okay.
doable.
2
That is.
decent
He's
seasons.
not retiring. No way.
No, if I was him, I wouldn't either. You got 6 rings and all the wins.
You could go to Seattle and get that done in 2 years.
Let's go 9-8 for 2 years.
Yeah.
you're
If
solid.
Pete Carroll can do it, you can do it.
I mean, he doesn't. I don't think he wants to go to the division.
So
Although
there's only 2 teams that need coaches, and the 2 best coaches available are still
Vrabel
out there.
and Belichick.
Yeah. What the fuck?
So
And
I
that's- if I was Seattle, I'd
Vrabel must be demanding like crazy money or something.
that, or he just feels so fucking scorned. Because, oh, by the way, the Titans go ahead and hire Bill Callahan's kid
Why
from
would they
the
fire him
Bengals.
either?
Okay,
That's
now
fucking stupid.
think about this. Just hired former head coach of the Raiders, Bill Callahan's kid. Just spent 5 years with the Bengals as OC, never called a fucking play.
But is he like Tommy Callahan's cousin or something?
Yeah.
Callahan Otto.
Yeah. Never called a play with
No.
them.
No.
He was also with Denver, Peyton Manning, Gary Kubiak, John Fox. So, Callahan's kid, who's now the new head coach.
What if Vrabel's like, fuck it, I'm going to take a year off and watch Ryan Day, like,
That's another great point.
I've seen that.
suck start a
Bouncing
shotgun
around.
and
Yeah.
then come
I've
in.
seen that for Belichick too.
Right.
But I don't think that's going to happen because he wants the record.
Yeah, why would he go to college?
He
No,
wouldn't.
there's
That's
not
why
a-
I didn't believe it.
And that's
No.
like with Vrabel, like, he's had the lifestyle being an NFL coach for so long.
College would suck now.
I
I could
Transfer
see
portal
fucking Nick
and-
Saban coming back to the pros before I could see Belichick
Yeah.
going to the fucking
Yeah,
college.
I could
With
see
all
that.
the NIL
I
and
read-
transfer shit now, no fucking way.
Before I realized Belichick was that close to the record, I thought he was just going to retire because
Right.
Saban did because they're fucking
Buddies.
best buds.
Right.
still.
Right.
God, I would love to just hear a fucking cell phone conversation between them two.
Well, you know
Well,
what
there was the thing on HBO of them sitting down and just like a
Oh,
normal
was
day.
there?
Yeah.
Well, that was
It's
what
awesome.
I was gonna say. You remember the 30 for 30 that came out, the 2 bills? Fuck, I want one with Saban and Belichick.
There
Well,
was
just
a,
well,
there,
there's that '94 Cleveland thing too.
There's a show.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's on HBO Max.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check
Them-
that out. Do you remember what's? I'd have to Google. I remember what it's called.
I
But
don't remember. I watched it though.
Okay. Was it good?
Because they just are. It's fucking
Is it
honestly
like an
hilarious because
NFL
they're.
Films thing?
was it better than the 2
Might
bills?
be.
Was it better
never
than that
watched
one?
the 2
Oh,
bills.
you didn't that 30 for 30.
But it's funny.
really-
They like talk about family for like 1 minute and then immediately into football, and that's all they fucking talked about.
They both hate their wives.
It was
so much.
awesome.
Which is exactly why their wives both hate both their
Which
asses.
is exactly why they're both the best. Because
Correct.
that's all they care about is football.
Another reason why Tom Brady got divorced when he locked
Yeah.
himself out in
Yeah.
the fucking left wing away
Yeah.
from his hot fucking French wife.
Yeah.
Or was she Brazilian? No, was she Brazilian or French?
She's
Giselle.
Brazilian.
That's it. I'm sorry. That's right. She waxed. Anyway, see what I did there? All right. Going back to Ben Johnson, though, getting hired at Tennessee.
The football life. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's the room there, right?
All right. Going back to the Ben Johnson, the hire away from that. So that's been filled now. We're going to see how that kid does. He's never been somewhere that he hasn't had a great fucking quarterback. So
Wait, what?
Ben Johnson, or not Ben Johnson, I'm sorry. Going back to Callahan, sorry.
Oh,
Hired at the Titans.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been anywhere where he hasn't had a great quarterback. So he's been 5 years with Burrow, or 5 years with Cincinnati, including the years with Burrow. And he was also with Peyton Manning and Denver.
Yeah.
And I think he had a short stint there in Green Bay with Rodgers, actually, for a year.
I think Levis could be the guy there. He's
Okay.
shown flashes. He has a
I'm
strong
just saying,
fucking arm.
is it a big leap to make him a head coach? I mean, he's not to say he hasn't paid his dues, but is it more
Well,
like...
I think it helps that his dad's fucking Bill Callahan.
That's the thing, is everybody's screaming that nepotism type of shit. Oh, with him. Has he shown his cock? And, he's... Only time's going to tell.
You got to win your interview, and apparently he did.
Right.
So...
Lowered expectations.
Yeah.
But could you be Vrabel just sitting back there and just with a fucking Cuban and just
and
I went waiting to watch that fucker burn.
Vrabel is hated ownership since they did that stupid A.J. Brown trade.
Yeah.
So I knew that was happening at some point, and I think that's why he's in New England. Maybe he's even waiting a year or two to see if
Because you don't want to follow up Bill Belichick.
right, if Gerard Mayo fucking fails.
Right.
Let's see that for a year.
Hop right in.
Right.
Yeah, plug in.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd take a year off.
Fuck yeah, go golfing all the time.
Go cheat on your wife.
Fucking every strip club in every. I would make it to go to every strip club in every city.
Right. And
At least 365 of them.
he's still like that age and that built that he could pull any bitch that he wants with all of the
yeah.
money.
Huge. Gotta have a fucking hanger
Oh,
on.
tank.
So this was a typo, actually, Rocha. But the Panthers, getting back to the Panthers, they went ahead out with Tepper as the owner, Mr. Slinging fucking drinks on fans. Goes out and hires Dave Canales, just right up front. 3 reasons, and I just wrote this down. He coached 2 undersized QBs in Baker in Tampa and Russell Wilson in Seattle. That's why I had that typo about Seattle.
This is Panthers.
This is the Panthers. They're now stuck with Bryce Young. So if they brought in a guy they thought they could coach Bryce Young up. Because he already has he's already coached up 2 former undersized QBs here, Russell Wilson and Baker, in Seattle and Tampa respectively. And I gotta give props to the guy. I mean,
That's about you got to do something to make that work.
exactly. So maybe this is their guy. I mean, I don't know.
Because they don't have their first round pick, so they're fucked.
Right. So you got Bryce Young.
God, they would have been picking 1.
Is that a bigger bust than Jamarcus Russell?
Well, no,
Ryan Leaf.
I don't. Dude,
But
Jamarcus
you're knowingly taking a tiny quarterback.
Right.
They weren't
True.
knowingly
Very true.
taking Jamarcus
Very
Russell.
true.
That he was a
Who was a
giant
piece
piece
of
of shit. You're knowingly taking this person that is too small to play quarterback.
Well, and when you're 6'7" and you throw the ball 80 yards with one knee on the ground,
Exactly.
I'm probably taking a chance
Right.
on that
Yeah,
too.
for sure.
Right.
This has to be a bigger bust, I would assume.
Yeah.
So getting off topic here though, and I want to know. I heard the rumor was true. I just watched this movie again like 2 or 3 weeks back, Draft Day,
Oh, yeah.
which is like my equivalent of Major League, for us, obviously for obvious reasons. Did I heard the whole thing about the $100 being in the back of the playbook they send out was after Jamarcus Russell? Is that true?
I have
Did anybody
no idea.
confirm that? But they said that was where they got that idea to put it in the movie was because Jamarcus Russell was the real life guy that was that fucking guy
They'd also
from Bo from Wisconsin.
They'd also give him blank. They'd also give him blank tapes to go home and watch. Oh yeah, did you watch film last night? Yep, watched every single one of them.
Did nobody go to his birthday party either?
Maybe not. Yeah, but you can't really. Go ahead.
I'll just say that to me, Jamarcus is a bigger bust just because I never had any faith that Bryce Young was going to be any good at all anyway. So
But that's why it's a bigger bust.
Right. I agree with
still
you.
took
That's a
him at
great,
one.
great point you brought up there.
But to me, a bust.
He had the build. He showed his shit.
To me, a bust is someone that had the ability but just didn't do it.
I'm saying a bust as far as fucking up your own draft.
Yeah, like on their end, they're retarded for.
As
And
a
to see
human
CJ
being,
Stroud.
Jamarcus is a bigger bust.
I mean, Ryan Leaf was the same kind of situation. Like Peyton Manning was right there, like boom, boom. Either one of them could have went one, and one went two. And went Chargers, it went Colts and Chargers. But it could have went either way. And you just happened to be that Ryan Leaf was the bust, but he still had the big bodies, just like you're talking about, the bigger type quarterback.
He had the potential.
He had the potential there. He had the build. He had the status and all that. So yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. So getting back to the hire with the Dave Canales, also stuck with Bryce Young. Ben Johnson, I know we talked about this guy, and everybody's talking about him around the league, the OC for the Detroit Lions. So apparently they went ahead and had a virtual interview with Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson basically, from what was being said no, I actually kind of have my eyes set on the Redskins.
Washington?
The Redskins job. So probably didn't go well. Now
He probably doesn't want that quarterback.
Yeah. Now you want to go back. I mean, you had Jared Goff, which once again he's a big quarterback, and I'm like, yeah. So now you got Tepper, you got an undersized quarterback that weighs like $180, and
Looks like a fucking kid out there.
Draft picks.
Yeah.
Why would you want that job? I might fucking apply for that job.
Well, it's funny because, and I think their cap room isn't very good either because they had so many contracts on the defense.
Oh.
So it's not like they have like all the room to fucking get guys either.
Right. And you gave away Christian McCaffrey and the wide
For
receiver
like a
of the
second and a
Bears,
third.
DJ Moore.
Yeah. Well, that's why the first round or the number 1 pick's gone.
Right. Okay.
It's fucking.
Anyway,
well, Chicago is just in a wealth of riches right now in the draft.
Everybody's touting up Ben Johnson, OC of Detroit. He can't be interviewed live until after this Sunday, the championship games. So
What happens if he goes to the Super Bowl? Can he be interviewed?
The only thing I read was
up to him.
he can still, his eligibility for interview can be opened up after this weekend. So
If I was him, I mean, I'd be like, you can wait 2 weeks.
the other
yeah. Turns out you're not hiring anybody else.
The other news that's kind of gaining traction is Dan Quinn possibly going to Seattle. That was just kind of gaining traction today. Dallas Cowboys former 28-3 guy.
Well, he was
In
he
Atlanta.
the DC there during the Legion of Boom?
I don't know that. I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure.
I thought it was.
He might have been. So you might have worked with Carroll?
I think so.
Carroll was more of like the defensive guy there.
Dan Quinn was a defensive coordinator
All right.
in Dallas, wasn't he?
Right.
Yeah, he was with Micah.
But yeah, Dan Quinn, I don't know.
Look at that beautiful bald head.
Oh, dude, talk about a fucking...
Beautiful bean.
That guy's a unit.
It looks like a dick.
He is a dick.
Seattle Seahawks. Assistant head coach and defensive line coach.
With Seattle.
In 2009, then went to Florida. I don't know why the fuck I knew that. Oh, Seattle.
Yeah, why would you know that?
Second stint. Pete Carroll replacing Gus Bradley.
Okay.
Defensive coordinator. Yep. That was 13. I think that was the year they won it, right?
But he also 28-3, so that happened.
28-3. With the quarterback whisperer, Kyle Shanahan. But I'll leave that fucking rant for later on.
That's a defensive problem.
That's a
28-3 defensive problem.
I don't know. Could have ran the ball. That's all I'm saying. Instead of having fucking Matt
Kevin,
Ryan,
run the fucking ball.
Run the dang ball,
run the
Kevin.
fucking ball. Run the goddamn
Didn't you guys
timeout.
happen to watch the Stump Mitchell interview?
I saw a snippet of that. I don't think I watched it all, but he was kind of throwing his name under the bus? Kareem Hunt, right?
Was like the last one in the
lazy.
meeting. Yeah.
He couldn't really get him to be a
Kareem's
team
been
guy.
kind of lazy ever since he
Kansas
got
City.
booted out of Kansas City and didn't get to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
He's been butthurt ever since. I've watched a video of him getting arrested. Or pulled over, at least. I'm pretty sure he got arrested.
Okay.
Kareem did.
Well, I know for sure he
He's
got
like-
arrested at least one time.
He's like, man,
for kicking some bitch.
I was supposed to be winning a Super Bowl. He said that to the cop. So you know he's fucking still butthurt about it.
Yeah.
But I like him. I wish
Yeah.
he could still stay in
I
Cleveland.
mean, as
Right.
a number 2, I don't give a fuck.
I love
did
how
s-
he just lifelessly throws his body around. It's
Right.
just
So I did see that part about Stump Mitchell basically saying that, I came in here, I tried to do the impossible too and get him to be like a team guy. And hopefully the next guy is going to do it. Whether that's Deuce Staley or Deuce Staley's just going to headbutt him.
Well, I mean, he's under contract. I don't see him coming back, honestly.
Right.
I think Nick Chubb's going to be back.
We hope Nick
Gonna
Chubb's
have
going to
to
be
be.
back. Same injury, same leg.
I don't even care that there aren't contracts for running backs out. We need to pay him.
Yeah.
And keep
Well,
him.
at least whatever he was making prior, they can handle that. I feel like he's the type of guy. And what's up, Jordan Ward?
Jordan!
He's the kind of guy where it's like he's just kind of like Adrian Peterson, where he'll probably come back stronger somehow.
Right.
Like he did after Georgia.
Right.
The same injury.
True.
But yeah, no. In that interview is basically he said that about Kareem, but also said that Kevin's a genius.
Okay.
And he said, everything that you've seen with Joe is what it looked like in camp with Deshaun.
Which
So
would
we got-
explain why he tries to outsmart the room every fucking game.
Sure.
I'm just being a Browns fan
Yeah.
fucking from a Facebook page.
The Browns fan groups, yes. Oh, he said he's like when before dude had blood clots, the guy that didn't play like the whole fucking
Yeah,
year,
Goodwin.
He said that they had a connection that was out of this world. He's like, then all the injuries happens, and then that's why like people. I just don't get why there's so many Browns fans that are like so negative right now. I'm like, yeah, that game sucked, but
We still went to the playoffs with 4 quarterbacks.
we went to the fucking playoffs.
Playoffs!
God damn, that's the third time in my life that I can remember.
Yeah. With 4 different quarterbacks.
4 different quarterbacks.
Turns out the head coach is not a piece of shit.
Well, and it turns out our defense just can't play on the road.
I'm so
Yeah,
old I can
that's
remember
That-
the
that
last
is-
time the AFC Championship ran through Cleveland. I'm that fucking old.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
the drive. Fuck.
Well, and
Fucking,
the
fucking just for men over here.
the
Right.
the one that should have been fucking wide left.
That was Red Right 88.
Well, the kick.
Oh, the kick. Oh, yeah.
field-
I thought you were talking about the fucking throw from behind sight.
No,
and
that's
Biner fucking fumbles.
Yeah,
Faggot.
following year. Fuck. All right.
Fuck John Elway.
Right. All right, let's get into right, absolutely, always.
got what they deserved the next game.
Last week's games. We're going to get into last week's games here a little bit. I just felt like, and I kind of agreed with the announcers, even though I don't always agree with announcers, especially Romo. Fuck that guy. So, but I kind of agree that they did seem kind of flat. The 1 seeds coming out. The Ravens
haven't
and San
played for
Francisco.
3
Right.
weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
To
And
be
in
expected.
Baltimore's case,
Basically
Lamar
a
didn't
month.
play for 21 days. Yeah.
That was 20 days.
21 days, because they had
It's a long
the
time
bye.
to
It
just
is
not
long, yeah,
play.
long
Right.
time. So, 49ers 24, Packers 21. Purdy had some precipitation. Purdy putting gloves on, taking gloves off, putting gloves on. They had the cleats lined
I
up.
thought fucking Green Bay was going to win though.
Dude,
Yeah.
look out for the fucking How
Look
lucky
out
of
for
a
the Packers.
franchise can
I
you be?
know it. And we talked
For
about
just 40 years, you have the guy
They've
at
had the
quarterback.
luxury though of like drafting a guy, pissing that old guy off, but having that guy in the building for 4 years before he starts.
Apparently, that's how you have to do it.
That's how it always used to be done, but it's very,
Well, and that's my thing is has Green Bay set the bar there? Or are we gonna have like a renaissance with the QBs here?
No,
And doing it?
it's
No.
not changing.
no. There's
Yeah.
too much the money and the
That's the
They-
problem.
they-
24/7 fucking.
They
coverage.
hit up the market of like taking the mixed guy quarterback and making him sit. Now everybody's taking the mixed guy quarterback and you got to start, which
Okay.
can work. Look at
Right.
CJ Stroud.
Right.
He's
Right.
a fucking stud.
Right.
Give
Well,
it
and-
give it
That's true.
10 years.
Well-
Every quarterback in the league is going to be mixed.
Okay.
Almost guarantee it.
Okay.
But I mean,
That's not being racist. It's
No.
just
No,
they're
I mean,
better.
no, that's fine.
They're way better.
they have the best
Yeah.
of both worlds.
Yes.
I hear a little Jimmy the Greek in the background here.
No, it's just
There's a quick twitch and a slow twitch.
But dude, look out for the Packers. They're going to be good again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, Rodgers sitting behind Favre, those two not being the best of friends. Then all of a sudden, Jordan Love sitting behind him. He comes out last year for a game. This was his first full year starting. Comes up last year for a game.
Was
Looked
not
like
good.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was against Kansas City. I remember that game. He
But
looked like
even
shit.
this year, it didn't look all that great.
He
in the
looked
beginning.
good. He looked
And
good
then-
early, and then it was funny because I said something in our group text
Okay.
about, hey, he looks good as fuck. And then the next 6 weeks, he looked like absolute shit.
Trash.
And then he became good
Then
again.
they kind of
so,
caught on a little
yeah.
bit there. You know, and
they're gonna be good.
Yep.
Because they
And
don't
they
have
have
shit for defense.
No, and they have a
always
really
draft
young wide
defense pretty
receiver
well,
core though too.
Yeah, super young.
Super young.
I didn't realize
with
Christian
some guys.
Watson was as fast as he was.
Yeah.
He ran like a 4.31 40.
Woo!
He's like
I didn't
6'4",
realize
isn't
that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's fast.
I mean, you figure you got
He's fast.
Jalen Reed there and him and Romeo Dobbs and I mean, you got some guys. You know, he can definitely get the
they're
ball
good.
around. You know, and I figure Aaron there, the running back,
Aaron Jones.
Jones, he's just gonna hang on for the ride. He's probably just gonna
Might as well.
sign a fucking league minimum and just like, yeah, I'm just gonna let this guy take over.
Right.
He's getting me the ball, and I'm just gonna get out in space when I need to and convert some third downs.
He played good in that game.
Yeah, he did
Against the
It's
Niners.
another 100-yard
Well, and
game.
their defense these last 2 games, it played horrible
They've
at all.
played well.
Did
they played pretty
Jair
well.
play in this game?
Yes.
So he didn't play in the game before. He got suspended, remember? Or
Yeah,
coach's decision or
Yeah,
something?
but that was like 3 or 4 weeks. I think
Oh,
it
I
was before
thought
the
it was
playoffs.
during the playoffs.
That's when he decided to go to midfield and
Call the coin
get
toss.
the
Yeah,
fucking coin
yeah.
toss.
It was the
Yeah.
first playoff game.
Yeah. No, was it? I know. I thought it was
That
like 3 or 4
he
weeks ago.
sat.
Oh, that he sat.
I think
Okay.
it was the first
Maybe it
playoff
was
game.
then. Maybe it was then. I thought he served it like right the
Dude,
next
his
week.
interview of that, he sounded so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just went in there and I called it. Like,
Well,
what
I mean,
the fuck are
Oh,
you
so you
doing?
fucked your team and you
Yeah,
think it's funny?
yeah.
so
What the fuck?
and you know what really bothers me are the people that get down on Jameis Winston for doing the shit that he did.
Dude,
I
Jameis
absolutely
is a-
hate that he did that.
Okay, but
I hate
they
it so
love
much.
this fucking dipshit that goes out again there and calls his own fucking shot.
Jameis is
I'm
a
with
fucking-
Uncle Shannon with that one on Jameis. Like, that's absolute bullshit.
I agree.
It is Bush League, but it's also as only because it's him. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he did eat that W.
But I'm saying you can't say one. You have to say they're both fucking idiots.
They are both idiots.
Okay, or I love both of the guys. I mean, you can't say one or the other.
No.
because they're both morons.
I love Jameis Winston. Because
We're both
Jameis
agreeing that we know they're not Rhodes scholars.
No.
They're fucking athletes.
Talk about a bust.
Yeah.
That dude is
Jameis.
just like he's too dumb to get like he could be great.
Oh, yeah. You just can't.
I mean, the Saints coach just
You
coming
can't
out.
throw 29 touchouns and 29
Right.
picks in a season.
He
You're
slings
not
it,
allowed
though,
to do
dude.
that.
He fucking slings it.
He does. All right. So, like I said, a little bit of precipitation. Debo going out in the first quarter.
Is he back?
He
this
is.
week?
He's practiced just yesterday. So yesterday or
Because I
maybe
want to
earlier
see that
today.
game be good. It should be the
Earlier
best
today.
game of the week, I would think.
Yeah, you think with
Oh,
Detroit?
yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Green Bay in the red zone though. They had 3 straight possessions in the end zone, and they didn't score. That was like in the first half. They had 2 field
They
goals.
could have easily won that game.
Yeah,
they
I
had
didn't watch the whole
They had 2 field goals, and then they got stopped on a 4th and 1 sneak. So the 49ers, even though they came out kind of flat, Purdy not really accurate on the offensive side of the ball real well. Of course, you lost Debo.
The game could have been worse. I watched Kittle drop a huge ball that
Yeah.
he could have scored.
Yeah,
Just absolutely fucking turned his head too early and dropped it.
right. So I don't know, but when it really mattered, Purdy came 6 of 7 on the last drive. Love with that throw across his body, kind of a fucking Baker throw. I mean, I hate to piss people off, but it was a bad fucking interception. Threw across his body, center of the field. Greenlaw he gets his second pick of the game. Then Purdy goes 6 for 7. That's the difference, though. That's why Purdy's not Baker. He goes 6 for 7, 47 yards, and ends the drive on a go-ahead touchdown, 6-yard scamper by Christian McCaffrey.
That's exactly why he's not Baker.
That's right.
He's turning from
So-
Mr. Relevant to Mr. Incredible.
Right.
Right.
Right. We'd love to see it. But, we've seen games this year. Ryan and I, we sat down and we watched that Ravens game at the Niners, where they had he had 4 picks and Donald had 1, which Sam Darnold, what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
But, he had 4 fucking picks that game, too.
I mean, he's insulated quite well in San Francisco with the talent around him.
Yeah.
But when the talent's injured, he's not making players better.
No.
I want to get into that a little bit,
He's.
too. Maybe
I know
I'll wait.
I kind of like he's going to be Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have.
I like Cousins better than Brock Purdy.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was even going to say he's probably Cousins probably better, and Purdy's
He's like a
smaller and he's
Tannehill.
not.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's like
maybe.
a Tannehill.
a game manager, but then
Yeah.
he could throw a pick at the first play and last play of the game.
He can throw some dots.
Right.
But he's also shown to
Absolutely.
be a little.
But if the game is in his hands and his studs aren't out there, he's not making the field better.
But he did on that last drive of the last game, so that was big. He went 6 of 7 for 41.
Yeah, but he's still throwing to Kittle, Ayuk.
Right.
Yeah.
McCaffrey.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're loaded.
Right. They
Yeah.
are. They are loaded.
Ayuk is a stud.
Yeah, he is. I'm really
He's
happy about how
Becoming
how he's
like a
come
top
along.
5 guy. He's good.
He is good. He is good. So, and I was going to say that actually he had 2 third down conversions on that drive. One of them was the Ayuk
Yeah.
on a third
laser.
10, third 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Barely caught it, too.
Yeah.
It could,
But he still
only
converted.
Ayuk can
He stayed
catch
in there.
it. Yeah,
and
he did.
He converted.
He threw the ball.
Right. So,
These
All
are
right.
practice.
Bucks 23. I know you guys are want to sink your teeth into this one. So Bucks 23, Lions 31. The Baker Bowl finally caught up to the Bucks in the postseason. Although he did throw 3 touchdowns,
I
In
was
the
so
game.
torn in this game
2 picks.
because I want the Lions to go on, but it was kind of cool seeing Baker like cook.
Okay.
So I was like, every time they scored, I kind of did like a little like fuck yeah. But I want the Lions to win, so I don't know why I was rooting for him.
Right.
But then he just brought it full circle.
Brought it around.
In the fourth
Baker
quarter.
didn't disappoint.
Baker played Baker football.
So in the fourth, the Bucks down 31-17. Baker leads them on a touchdown drive in with Mike Evans. Then they go for the 2-point conversion. I know what they're talking about the analytics with this.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I don't know. I mean, I know the math nerds are
I don't
in
like
the room.
it at all. Just go to where you can score and tie it again.
Yeah.
You don't absolutely need a 2-point.
Yeah. I mean, you don't
But if you get the first 2-point, you can win the fucking
win
game.
the game, and I see that's where the analytics come in. So I get that, but isn't it kind of a morale sinker when you don't
Yeah,
get
but
that
it's-
2-point conversion?
No, because
It's
you
still
still have
the
another
first
chance.
You do.
But your other chance is just to tie now,
Correct.
not to win. Where if you do convert, fuck yeah, boys, we got this. We just got to score.
We got to score. But then you look back and you got Baker back.
And there should have been a hold
It was
on the
that's
defense.
literally
on that.
clockwork.
On that
2-point.
2-point conversion, did you
Yeah.
watch? Did you watch
Yeah,
it?
I watched it.
So
Absolutely held him.
okay,
Yeah.
so that should have been a flag thrown
Held him?
Yes.
on that. I saw it. It looked like number one, the DB didn't have. He wasn't turned around to the ball at all, which normally we get an
But
automatic
there
call.
Not
wasn't
at all.
contact.
Not get it. Yeah. So
There
that's
wasn't
the
contact, though.
that's the problem though, is that right there. So that's kind of where it leaves that ref out there, and he has to make a decision. He's like, well, they're telling us if the back's
Well,
not
and
turning
Evans,
his head.
Evans could have got that flag really easy if he would have just stopped and let him run.
Correct.
Yeah, just
so
ran
that's
back
kind
to
of
him.
yeah. So
That's how
I
you
put
get
that on
the-
Evans a little
What
bit.
That's how you
what
get those
I've
calls
noticed
all the time.
with DPIs lately is they're only looking for like jersey tugs. So it seems like all the DBs, all they have to do is lock down the opposite hand, and then you have to catch it one-handed.
One-handed.
And they're not fucking calling that at all.
Okay.
And they do it all. Just watch next game.
They have
Especially
been,
if
There'll
you
be
can.
there'll be a play
they've
where
been letting teams play. Too.
yeah, there'll be a play where the DB has
And I like that.
has the other that I don't. How the fuck are you supposed to catch the
No,
ball?
you don't like him. You don't. No, what I'm saying, they're letting. He's said they're letting teams play. I like that.
I like that, but I
Yeah.
don't like the fact that I get to watch the Ravens, who are the handsiest
Oh,
team
God.
in the NFL.
Well, they get away with it
no
when they aren't
pass
letting other
interference
teams
calls.
play.
Right.
Watch any sort of deep pass jump ball in the Ravens game specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Their wide receiver will only have one hand to try to catch the ball because the DBs will lock down his opposite hand.
Well-
And since he's not pulling a jersey, it don't get
And
called.
the Ravens get to play in like the 2007 rule where you get 5 yards instead of 1 to have contact.
Yeah. Well, and the Ravens always play press, so they're always putting hands on guys.
Right.
We'll get into that. When
We
get to
are.
that
We will
game.
get into that. So Ryan and I were kind of going back and forth. I think we kind of disagreed on this. And Brandon, you tell me what you think. But Detroit gets the ball back after that score, non-2-point conversion, 4:37 left. I just feel like a couple more runs in there, short screens, and you kind of keep the ball in bounds and you run that clock out. Tampa got the ball back. They still had one timeout right after the 2-minute warning, which is right at the
It's like 150. Because I remember watching it, I'm like, fuck, they kind of got fucked because their punt return went into the 2-minute warning.
right.
Where I was like, oh, that's kind of that rule's kind of gay, honestly.
Golf took
that should have been you get the ball, run a play, and
Right.
then you get the 2-minute warning.
I mean, Goff took a sack during that too. So he took a sack, which you know keeps the clock running. Burns
how
it
it
down.
worked out for them sucked. He caught the ball at 1:59.
But what I'm saying is before that punt, you know, whether you like Dan Campbell or not, and I'm not saying I don't like Dan Campbell. I do kind of like Dan Campbell. But I go back to that game with Dallas and Detroit. And maybe he should have went for the tie instead of trying to go for 3 2-point conversions.
I think he only has 1 year.
And it's all the time. And
Well,
sometimes
that's why they are where they are.
My argument though is when I was texting with Ryan, I'm like, I think it's okay to be vanilla every now and again.
Yeah, but I don't think he has that.
He didn't have it in him, does he?
No.
Has he got too much?
Yeah, but we're talking about they still you took 2.5 minutes off the clock.
Yes.
Like that could have easily been you get the ball back and they get the ball back with 3.5, almost 4 minutes left.
Yeah. I mean, they had one timeout
Yeah, if
left.
you run the ball, don't get any first downs.
That's
they
true.
get the ball back with 4 minutes.
And they had
That's
to go
true.
the length of the fucking field, and who's playing quarterback in that other team?
Right. So you got to have that. So that's what I'm saying. Or you
gotta
give it
remember,
credit.
Baker Mayfield is playing quarterback.
Right.
Like
right.
honestly, we laugh about it, but that's probably in.
We
like,
watch that
Yeah.
all the time.
Absolutely.
That's what he does.
Absolutely, we did. No, I agree with you.
Can't tell me
They
they don't see that
see
in film.
Yeah.
I think Campbell has 1 gear.
Yeah.
And there's no ounce of Jim Tressel in his whole body.
Yeah, I just wish he'd get a little bit, like in some certain situations, because when Goff went back there and he got sacked, there shouldn't have been any deep back drops. If you're going to go and pass the ball, it should have been a quick drop
Yeah,
out
no
to
seven
Montgomery.
But put the pressure on that defense. That honestly, that secondary's been torched all year,
Yeah,
and that like the
If you
Lions
just
have
get-
a really good offensive line.
you just
so,
get-
like,
you get Montgomery out in space, you shouldn't be dropping back and taking a sack for -7. You know, trying to just
That might be on Jared Goff,
on a first
too.
down,
That
on a
might
first
be
down
Jared
play.
Goff,
well,
too.
didn't they convert like a 3rd and 12 on that drive too?
They might have. I don't
Yeah,
know.
to Amon-Ra.
Yeah, I mean,
was
like,
that on that
It was
drive?
like 3rd and 15.
Okay.
He barely
I mean,
got
Tampa
it.
kind of gifted them a penalty in there too,
Well, and
on the first down play.
Didn't they kind of get lucky with not having a penalty on one of those plays? I'm trying to fucking remember that drive. But yeah, I mean, I had no problem with that drive. You're not gonna clock 4.5 minutes off the clock every time you have the ball.
I'm not saying 4 minutes. I just would have liked to see him
They
get
still
it down
got
closer to
two
a
of
minute.
Tampa's timeouts wasted.
2 of them, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
so at that point, it's like
And then you punt it
You have
down
an
to get the
eight-
ball
And
if
they
they're
started.
like 5.
That's the key. There is they started like at their own 5. Was it
Yeah.
10 or 5?
yeah, because that
Might have been the 10.
dumbass caught
'Cause-
that punt at like the 5, didn't he?
I think it was like the 7 or the 10.
Okay.
But
Somewhere
regardless,
around there.
second play from scrimmage though, Baker Mayfield over the middle.
Yeah.
Was it
And,
the second
dude,
or
what
the
was
first?
funny
Second down.
is everybody's like, the fucking NFL is rigged. Look at this. Tampa Bay has a timeout. It's 3rd
I
and
saw this.
14, and they're
I
just
saw
letting
this.
the clock run. I'm
I
like,
saw this.
they would get the ball back. They would kick a field goal 1. Like, what are you?
You were in
people
some of
that
the
dumb?
fucking Browns forums, weren't you?
No, it's just people on TikTok
Fucking
bitching about.
people
I'm
in
like,
there.
you can tell you guys didn't watch this game.
What was the one that you sent me today though? Is somebody arguing in there about how the Browns should go and get Justin Fields
As a backup.
Christ.
as a backup, Brandon?
So do you want to have $78 million locked up in your quarterback?
I mean, I wouldn't mind it just so that Pittsburgh doesn't get it,
Right.
because that will be
Well, and
scary.
that was one part of it, and then it's like we can trade him a 3rd round pick. I'm like,
Yeah,
first of all,
you're getting a first out of Fields.
yeah, you're getting at least one.
I think you are.
Dude, I can't wait to watch Chicago.
Here's
draft.
my thing.
If I was Carolina, I'd be fucking. Like, they don't have one this year.
I
The
want-
year after that, hey, you want that one? You
Remember
want
how I was talking about Bill having the 2 interviews there and how he's kind of had all that control? You know, Arthur Blank came out and said how big of a disappointment it was, and you had Ritter at the quarterback position, and now they're picking what at 9, and then we know Atlanta's track record,
They're going to take a quarterback.
but
Absolutely.
they generally take best available regardless of need. That's Atlanta's kind of MO
They
in the
have to
draft.
take some
They,
quarterback.
I think they're looking like,
They
hey,
have to
let's go
trade
get
up
Russell
to get a
Wilson.
quarterback.
But what if they went Fields? And what if he went in there and said,
Chicago, if they
this
got
is
rid
the
of
plan.
Fields, that would be the dumbest fucking thing possible.
But this is the plan, Bill.
But they have
The dumbest
they
thing.
have so many. I to me, if I was Chicago, you have all the picks already. Build around them.
Trade
but-
your number 1, take Marv at
2.
3.
Right. But I guess what
And
I'm
your
saying
offense
is
is-
during that interview,
And you have 3 more picks.
during that interview process, and Bill they kind of broke it down for Bill, like, hey, this is what we're doing. I know you're a GM there. We have that pick.
We're not drafting white wide receivers.
Okay. Yes.
No.
Yes. That
Not
too.
at all.
But we're planning on getting Fields. And what if Bill said, "Yeah, I don't want to do that."
God damn it! I don't want a guy that's going to run around the field.
And that might have been the deal breaker.
I know there is a white corner in the draft this year.
I
want to
go-
look at it.
I'm so fucking hard right now.
I want to go and get a quarterback in round 8 now, just because Mr. Relevant was in 7.
Oh yes.
Because I'm fucking Bill.
Dude,
I'm just gonna get a free fucking agent
I hope the Browns draft that white corner. That'd be so awesome.
from Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Wait.
he's gonna be on special teams his whole life.
Right.
He would play over.
He's
Greedy
gonna be our
Williams.
he's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
our he's gonna be our punt returner.
That even better.
Just like
Jim
against
Leonard.
Minnesota,
I mean, he's
right?
gonna get moved to safety.
Right.
That's
Yeah, just like my favorite player for the Browns ever.
So all
You
right,
know who that is?
Joe Vicious.
Safety.
no
Mexican.
Oh God.
Sendeo.
Sendeo.
Oh, Zendeo.
Well, I was
I
like, white
fucking
guy.
hated him
Yeah.
so bad.
Jesus.
He might be the worst secondary
He was
player
bad.
to ever play in
He
the
was
NFL.
bad.
Even back in the 50s when they were like plumbers and shit. Yes, Satan.
Oh, we got a caller coming in from Guatemala.
It's
Yeah.
Bill.
It's from the
Okay.
Philippines, actually, where the birthplace
They
of
keep
chicks
saying-
with dicks.
We haven't paid him
We're
for
gonna.
the shirts.
I thought for sure I could go ahead and get away with. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So moving on.
Oh, now we gotta hear Sean talk more.
I know, right? Ravens 34, Texans 10.
I didn't watch a single down of this.
Yeah.
I fucking hated this game so much.
I was at a kid's birthday party. I took my son to a kid's birthday party, and I'm sitting in the back of the hall with like winter coats piled up, and I'm watching it on my phone. All of a sudden, there was a couple other dads that immediately had fucking envy
Nice.
because they could just hear it back there, and I'm like,
Yeah, I cannot stand the fact that CJ Stroud absolutely torched us and looked like a
Yes.
blind person
Yes.
against this team.
Also,
They
it
don't
came
have
out.
fucking Greg Newsom.
I mean, would you agree Ravens also, just like the Niners, though, kind of came out flat in that game? I mean, it was 10-10 at half. They could have had the lead. Fairbairn missed a field goal there right before
Yeah, but they didn't
half.
score an offensive touchdown.
That's
what I'm
it.
saying. They absolutely fucking
They had the punt
torched
return for a
us.
touchdown. That was the only one that they had, that they had during the game.
And just people absolutely wide open against
Yeah.
us, and then they have no scheme for the Ravens.
Yep.
Like, how is it? Their defense isn't that much better. I don't get it.
I don't know if it's better.
I don't.
I
just
think
don't
they
know if
play
it's
press
better.
coverage and put their hands on people. I think
Okay.
that's the difference.
Okay.
Because
Well-
their whole wide receiver core is pretty young. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have the guy at wideout. So if you just press them, put your hands on them, they can't fucking go anywhere.
Our D line did not show up in that game.
Yeah.
Neither did Greg Newsom.
So I was going
Yeah,
no, he didn't.
he literally got torched for 80% of the big plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Not able to fucking guard a Volkswagen.
No. And then like you'll see some weeks where he's like has a fucking 13
He's putting the
QB rating.
seatbelt on all the
Yeah.
fucking time. Just apparently not against the Texans.
I wonder if he's just like a under the radar like alcoholic that
I hope so. So
kind of
there's
like
an at least
MJ,
excuse.
like he's just always out fucking
Yeah.
gambling and
So
getting
at least
hammered.
there's an excuse.
Right.
So the Texans offensively, I kind of felt like that's where the Browns. I thought that's how the Browns would show up the week before.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud
Well, and
didn't get sacked by the.
I also
Ravens,
think too like
but,
the NFL home field advantage matters.
okay. All right.
To me is like the biggest in any sport.
But for the Ravens, it doesn't though. They lose at home all the fucking time.
Well, they lost to us. They lost to Indy. And lost
They only
to
had 3
Pittsburgh.
losses or 4 losses.
But that's not like they were to shitty teams.
They were at home though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, NFL playoffs at home, that's a different
I understand
environment.
that. I just fucking hate the Ravens. I think
Has a road team
I
won?
might hate them more than the Steelers,
Has a road team won?
Oh,
just because it's
Man, that's hard.
they're fucking slobbering Lamar's cock for MVP.
Yep.
He's not even top 5 in any stat but rushing.
Yep.
For a quarterback.
Right.
God, you're fucking making him feel really good.
I do. No, I
Well,
think
what
you
if-
and I see eye to eye
Am
on
I
this.
wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong on that. No.
Well, usually
Why is he the MVP?
Usually Ryan,
he didn't do anything special in this game at all.
Yeah. He wins.
He is the best, the
team
quarterback
wins.
on the best team.
The team
Usually
wins.
Ryan comes back at me and says he wins.
He does win.
Tom Brady fucking won too, and fuck that guy.
It just is.
Well, he also didn't win very many MVPs.
I just talked to Logan about this 2 days ago. It seems like every game the Ravens just they win, but they play.
They don't look good while they do.
They
it.
never look good, and the team they play somehow has their worst game of the whole season every time they play them.
Well,
Which is very fucking annoying.
You know how they said they
Which
didn't have
maybe goes to the point of them being the most grabby defensive team you'll ever see.
Yeah, they are. I've been saying that for 4 years.
Yeah, I remember when we went up there in 2018. It was like we were talking.
They never get called. I remember a stat popping up that had Texans 10 for 81 yard penalties, Ravens 2 for 15.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck is that even possible?
Well, and even like they tried to give Baltimore the game when we fucking came back and beat them.
Yeah.
How many chances did they have in that fucking?
There was like 9.
Eight or nine chances, and they
Yeah,
finally
to score.
scored.
Yeah.
Like God, they got to get 3 minutes off the clock to get 3 yards.
Yeah.
Texans was 0 red zone visits the entire game. That's a fucking problem.
That's what I'm saying.
But
is Stroud torched us, but apparently is blind playing the Ravens.
But going back to the penalties,
People were wide.
I feel like a lot of those were self-inflicted because I watched the game. I didn't see penalties that were called on the Texans that shouldn't have been called.
No,
they
I'm
were
not saying
shooting their
that at
fucking
all.
selves in the foot.
I'm not saying that in any way.
Right. But they were shooting themselves in the foot. They were killing fucking drives with 11 penalties for 87 fucking yards throughout the game. Couldn't get in the fucking red zone. And a lot of those came on, second, third downs that either killed drives or it put them in a third down and long distance.
Yeah.
You can't fucking do that. You
Not against
cannot
that
do
defense.
that. You can't do that with a seasoned quarterback, let alone a rookie
I
quarterback.
think the way that the Ravens are winning is they play more press coverage than anyone. Mm-hmm.
It's volleyball.
Yeah, that's what it is. And even downfield on throws, there's no flags ever against the Ravens, and they're on them the whole route.
I think there is.
They're pushing dudes out of bounds and shit.
There's something to what colors teams wear.
You're talking about the logo now for the fucking Super Bowl?
No.
Oh, you're talking about like hands?
For hands.
Okay, I get that.
That was a whole thing.
Pittsburgh for a lot of years was the same fucking way. When they had fucking Clark Palomalu and I can't remember the corners that they had, but they were the same fucking way on defense.
They had Willie Gay.
Yeah, I mean, and the Ravens have been that same. But there was a time and place where a lot of the stuff that they were doing was in the rule book. Now it's not, and it's still like it doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
And it's just, I think that's just the way it's gonna be. But I also think they wear that either those purples or the dark or the black, like the fucking. I just think there's something to that.
You think on their own jerseys?
Yeah.
I would think the opposer, you can't see their literal hand.
Well, they're black and the
jersey.
players are black, so.
Oof.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense if they're the defender.
But I don't know.
It makes sense for, like, it makes the opposite
But if
sense.
they're wearing black gloves, because that's what they're gonna wear. They're not wearing white or orange or something like that with the.
Oh. Well, I
But
think.
you would see that on the opposing jersey that's white.
Well, one of the.
I don't think you see it as well as if it's a brighter color. If it's red, like Patriots.
Yeah, there's no. I could see what you're saying. Because your hand here, if you're a black person, you don't see my hand
and
that
red
well on my
it'll,
pants.
It hits the eye more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what
Black,
you're saying.
yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Okay.
That's why fucking Belichick used to hate when Edelman wore red
I was gonna
gloves.
say- about
They
say
made him
that.
start wearing
Remember
blue and gray.
Yeah.
going back to that little podcast they had there? Yeah. Wasn't he pissed about that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Edelman, what the fuck you doing?
I can see it up in the fucking press box.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing was the wide receivers wearing white shoes instead of colored shoes. That was like a Belichick thing, so that it blended more in with the sideline. So
Oh, yeah.
you couldn't get it distinct.
So there
that was a
more
Belichick
white
thing.
cleats?
Correct.
Yeah, dude. There's
okay.
and that's why I
That-
I mean,
You
need
that-
every
Belichick's
advantage
the
you
goat.
can
That
when you're
came from him.
professionals.
That was a Belichick thing.
That
That
makes
came-
sense. I
He,
like
he
that.
was the master of finding the little fucking things.
the little tiny things that
Well,
might,
because all you
might
have to
get you
do
the game.
is see it fuck you one time, and then that's in your head.
Right. Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
I get that.
Yep.
That's cool.
All right.
He's affected.
So
He's affected.
Texans couldn't get the ball going on the ground. No surprise there. Stroud, like I said, 0 sacks in this game. Ravens hit him 6 times, 5 more times the Browns. So that was, that was definitely
because he's getting the ball out too quick.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He can't get the ball out.
But
quick
why was
on
he getting the
press
ball out
coverage.
that quick?
Because they're playing
versus
press
us?
coverage.
Okay.
They're putting hands on them.
Okay.
He's not getting the ball out in under 2 seconds.
Right.
Whether he's taking sacks or not, those immediate plays aren't there.
They're going up and hitting him in that 5-yard buffer.
Yeah.
Or in their case, 6.
Yeah.
And not getting a call.
Well, no, they're putting hands on him right at the line of
Right.
scrimmage so that wide receivers cannot move.
Okay.
The Browns are playing 5 yards off. Can do whatever you want to Greg Newsome, apparently, because he
Jam
doesn't even have feet.
Right.
So he can't run.
And Nico Collins was only like 5 for 10 for this game. So, I mean, that was a problem, too. That, which they...
It made me fucking so mad that Stroud fucked us and did nothing against
Well, I mean,
them.
Baltimore, I think, too, has a better linebacker room. So you take
Roquan's
Schultz.
a stud.
You take Schultz out of the game.
Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen.
Yeah.
I like both
Agreed.
of those guys.
Agreed.
I think I would take Joe.
I was salty
I think
when
Joe
they
K's
drafted Queen.
on that fucking level.
Mm-hmm.
I think he really is. But other than that, Taki's a run stuffer. They didn't have AWalk. Fields is a guy.
Are we ever going to have a walk back?
I think he's going. I mean, I don't know why you. I like him, but he can't really stay healthy.
Because he didn't have any availability.
Right.
Because he's always fucking hurt.
Right. Well, he got hurt fucking last year because the Steelers
Well,
decided to just
We were at that game, yeah.
stomp on him, and then no one talked about it.
Right. So,
Same thing from Minka Fitzpatrick. I'm coming for you, you bitch.
Right. Dude, I hope we play Pittsburgh week 1 and Chubb just truck sticks the fuck out of him.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Or gets fucking.
You never convinced me that that's not a dirty hit.
Right.
When the other half of his shoulder pad is on the ground as he's hitting Nick Chubb. Looks clean to me.
So unlike the first meeting between these two, week 1, of course that was way back in week 1, so I'm not making any comparisons here. Ravens won 25-9. Okay, first game for Stroud. But Lamar Jackson only had 38 yards. They contained Lamar Jackson well. So I don't know if that was they threw kind of a curveball.
Lamar really didn't play very well the first 6 or 8 weeks of the season.
But he had 100 yards in this game, 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns. So, I mean, they really kind of opened up a run against them. The Texans couldn't establish a run, so that also hurt Stroud on the back end when you're talking about a rookie quarterback. Not being able to open up play action.
The Ravens ran the ball well.
Mm-hmm.
Gus was getting fucking 6-7
Justice
yards
Hill.
anytime he
Justice
wanted.
Hill, I think, had 68 yards.
Yeah.
Lamar had an even 100.
They're like the fucking Broncos of the late 90s, early 2000s. It doesn't really fucking matter who's playing running back there.
Right.
I mean, you got Lamar, so there's too much shit to worry about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a spy on Lamar, but it's more than one guy.
Right.
Yeah, you have to have a guy on
There's
both
multiple
sides of the
responsibilities there.
field. Yeah.
And as much as I dislike...
And then they still can't fucking tackle.
If I haven't told you this, if you guys didn't know this, how much I despise Lamar Jackson. Okay, but I feel like, to his credit, I do feel like he's been throwing the ball better. He has been throwing the ball better.
I was going to say, he's been getting better.
He's been getting it better, and I feel, I'd have to look at attempts, but I feel like he's not running the ball as much.
He's not.
And it's not...
And he still has fucking 900 yards rushing this year.
I think, does he ever scramble anymore?
I don't
I
think
feel
he
like all of
needs
his...
to.
Well, I think
No.
all of his running plays are, designed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He scrambles probably once a game.
Yeah.
Right, but, it used to be, that'd be the big play of the game is he'd fucking tuck it and
Yeah.
make 2 jukes and go 90 yards. Yeah.
Just runs 190 yards to go 60.
We're about to cover the Chiefs-Bills game, but I do want to get into this, and I agree with you about Lamar Jackson and the slobbering love affair that the media has. That's another reason why I dislike him.
All right, so
I dislike him so much.
for this year, who else do you give it? I would say if you're going to give it to anybody
Josh
else,
Allen.
Yeah.
It's
there's
Josh
too
Allen.
many turnovers there.
Lamar had a lot of fumbles. But basically, they're the same.
But he's got. They're 14-3. They're 11-6.
Okay, here's my argument though. They're basically the same kind of player.
But he's also in the best division in football.
But Josh Allen can put the ball in spots I feel that Lamar can't.
Yeah. He's a different player.
Okay, but he can run the ball, but he doesn't run it the athleticism, the cuts and stuff like Lamar does.
I don't think you can win MVP as a quarterback if you aren't even top 5 in passing touchdowns or passing yards.
Right.
How the fuck is that even possible?
Because then you're just...
Did Mike Vick do that?
Because you're like strictly going off record.
Did he? If he
sure.
did, that's also bullshit.
Well,
Because look at what...
Mike
I
Vick
think
was badass.
I think McCaffrey should win it because he leads running backs in every stat there is.
I think I was going to
so.
say.
Why
to
the
me,
fuck should that guy not win it?
To me, it shouldn't have been a quarterback this year. It should have
No.
been either Tyreek or him.
If Tyreek didn't play so bad
Yeah.
in his like last 3 games,
Well, and I think
he missed
didn't
one
he
of them.
missed, Yeah, he missed one.
Missed one because, fucking Left Eye Lopez burned his fucking house down
Yeah,
from the fucking grave, I think.
I think McCaffrey should have got it. That's my argument.
Oh,
for
I would-
MVP.
How could you even argue?
He
against
leads
that?
like every stat
He's
except
scored in
touchdowns.
a touchdown in every game other than the one I
To
bet.
Tyreek's credit, I mean, he went and
Yeah.
he scored.
Yeah, he did. Too.
Yeah, he scored a touchdown in the Frozen Bowl there just a week prior.
Well, no, I'm talking about McCaffrey.
Yeah, but I'm saying going back to what you're saying about Tyreek Hill, though. I mean, he
Yeah.
did score in that game.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So-
I think it's them two, and I would not be. I would say probably Christian
Lamar's
McCaffrey.
not even the best at his position. How the fuck is he going to win MVP?
Right.
At least Tyreek and McCaffrey are the best at their position.
I've hated Lamar. I've hated this whole thing with the media because they've always wanted. They've hopped on this because they want to see a change in that quarterback position, and they
Well, there has been.
There has, but he's on the real far extreme end.
Yeah, it's him
And
and
the
Mike Vick.
media
900
fucking
yards
gobble
rushing.
that fucking shit up. And my thing is this. You can't win with Lamar if he's not running the ball. They're not going to change that offense. He might run it less. He might throw the ball better every year, or at least he may have a ceiling there. But stop. You just want to give him the MVP, but just like you said, the
Stupid. I don't
numbers
like
aren't
it.
there.
They're not.
They're not there.
Because you just, even comparing him to Josh Allen, yeah, he has what, like 12 picks or something like that?
Allen.
Yeah.
It was 15.
Yeah.
So 15, Lamar had what, 7 or 8?
And fumbles though.
But they're not counting that because that's
Correct.
apparently not a stat.
Okay.
Well,
But Josh Allen also has 600 rushing yards. Lamar has 9.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen has 1,000 more passing yards.
Right. And touchdowns.
Yeah,
And touchdown
and way
passes.
more touchdowns.
And
Yeah.
personal touchdowns, rushing
Yeah.
touchdowns, right?
what did he finish with? Like 26.
The only stat Lamar is beating Josh Allen at is turnovers and rushing yards.
Yeah.
That's
Did
it.
have 102.7 rating. That's pretty damn good. Yeah, 24. So he only had 7 interceptions.
7 picks, but 24 touchdowns.
Yeah, and but like this has not been a year for quarterbacks. That's what I'm saying. I don't think a quarterback should have won it.
Yeah, I like McCaffrey.
With some, that's a good
McCaffrey
point.
literally led in
How many
everything
injuries?
but rushing touchdowns.
How many injuries there were to all the starting teams, the starting quarterbacks
Right.
and all the teams? I
Yeah,
agree.
you have to have more
That's
yards.
a great point.
18 picks. Jesus.
Allen did.
He had a fucking fucking Brett Favre year.
Yeah.
And only 29 touchdowns. So
He's
yeah, I mean,
Still 12 shy of Winston.
if it was between them two, if it was just for quarterback award, I would probably. I don't know, dude. With record, that many picks,
I mean, 18's bad.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
because
one
he also fumbled the ball a lot.
well, and I seen him throw a pick to the same guy 3 times in the first game of the season, and that was just insane.
Yeah.
My bid is for McCaffrey
Okay.
Yeah,
because he's literally
but it's almost become.
And I don't have a problem
he's
with that either.
head and heels way better than the next running back.
Right.
Lamar isn't even the best quarterback.
Right.
Tua had way better stats.
He
than
did.
Oh
Lamar.
yeah, Tua.
He did.
Like honestly, if you want to fucking give a MVP award to a quarterback, his probably.
Right. So maybe they should come out with a different category. We have an MVP quarterback for the year, and then we have
I think so.
offensive
They're just
MVP
turning
of
the
the year.
MVP into a quarterback.
Yeah.
But it's honestly been like that forever, hasn't
Right.
it?
I know.
Yeah.
But it's annoying.
It has. It has. All right. We'll get into this last game. Chiefs 27, Bills 24. If you would have told me Josh Allen had 2 straight playoff games without a turnover, and he didn't make the AFC Championship game,
This is Josh Allen's game to lose, and he lost it.
did he lose it?
Yeah.
Did he lose it? Or
Dude, go back and watch the last drive.
yeah,
Just
I did. I
chucking it
watched
down
whole
the
game.
field. Diggs has an over route. It's I think it's like 2nd and 14 or something.
Yeah.
Diggs has an over route at least for 10 yards. Chucks it down, way the fuck down the field
Mm-hmm.
to whatever that number 10 guy
Shakir?
is. Shakir, yeah. And then the next play, third down, is when he went to Diggs deep as fuck.
Yeah.
When he didn't need to.
Right. Is that the drop by Diggs?
Yes.
Though?
The little bit I've seen him play, I just feel like there's been. It doesn't look like the same guy to me as like Josh Allen 2 years ago. I think
It
like he
looks
peaked.
like a different guy literally from play to play.
Right.
From one play, he'll be Josh Allen the stud. The next play, he's fucking Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Like,
he has a fucking brain fart and he throws a bad pick.
It's almost.
some of his picks are very, very bad,
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Like Baker Mayfield picks.
Yes.
They are. They're so bad.
And he's played really well in the playoffs in his career. And obviously, I would definitely take Josh Allen over Baker Mayfield. But like, he's almost like it's like you're watching a better athlete, Phillip Rivers.
I'm taking Josh Allen.
Pretty much.
I'm taking Josh Allen over Deshaun Watson, Ryan.
I would, too.
Yeah.
I would.
Well, I mean,
There's only a few guys I'm
because
not...
Deshaun can't fucking didn't stay healthy this
There's
year.
only... There's only probably two people I'm taking over Josh Allen.
Pat Mahomes and
Lamar.
Burrow.
No. Market. Remember this podcast.
Okay.
Joe Burrow is a systems quarterback.
Okay.
And that system
said
is
it
having
here.
3 really good wide receivers.
Yeah.
Just
And look what Jake Browning did this year.
right.
Which
Off the fucking bench,
which
throwing for
gives
350 yards
which
a game.
gives props to Callahan's son. You just got hired by the Titans, right?
Jake Browning, I picked him up in fantasy.
Yeah.
He was
I know you did, you
for the
motherfucker.
5 weeks I had him. He was quarterback number 4. Joe Burrow is a systems
Didn't
quarterback.
Flacco end up 1 for like the time that he played?
Fantasy
Fantasy-wise?
wise,
Probably pretty damn close.
maybe.
I mean,
He was probably top 5.
There's 300 plus 2 TDs every week.
Who's this?
But
Except the
picks
first
too.
Who we talking?
Flacco.
Flacco.
Oh,
But I mean,
yeah.
even when he threw picks, it was still like 380 yards.
Yeah, like those games he played, he was way up there. I know that.
I'm pretty sure I seen
But
somewhere like
there's
the
other-
weeks that he played that he was 1. Like together, not every week he was 1.
No, you mean
His
for the
stats are just so. Fantasy's weird. Like
Right.
Lamar will shit on him just because of like
The rushing
rushing and
yards.
shit. Yeah, and rushing touchdowns. Like you only get
Yeah.
4 points for a passing touchdown. Rushing
get
touchdown
6.
is 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was probably top 5. I would bet.
So both teams really kind of getting early and often on the ground during that game. Going back to the game, Pacheco on the one side of the ball, Josh Allen
Checo was
didn't seem like
balling.
they had any answer for either one of those guys. I mean, both teams.
And then they abandoned James Cook in the fucking.
And James Cook.
Fourth
James
quarter.
Cook was having a great.
They just
he was
abandoned
having a
him.
great game too. So, but I just want to read this because here's how I came across. My thoughts were Dean Spanos. Kansas City's defense has been much better. You know, last year we were talking about this team.
Who?
Dean Spanos, DC for
Spagnuolo?
or Spagnuolo,
Yeah.
not Spanos.
I was like, I thought you were talking about the Chargers.
The Chargers owner. I'm sorry.
I just watched Avengers.
Right.
And I was like, Thanos. What
Thanos. Spagnolia, I'm sorry. So he comes in. I just give a lot of credit for him for making some adjustments in the second half. Here's the Bills'
That
possessions in the second half.
I think it was absolutely Josh Allen's game to lose, and he literally lost it.
Okay. 15 plays, touchdown, Bills. 4 plays, 7 yards, punt. 3 plays, -2 yards, punt. 16 plays, 54 yards to end with that Tyler Bass missed field goal. 16 fucking plays.
That's a gut shot, too. It's
That is.
44 yards, wind at your back.
Yeah.
You just
That was-
fucking shank it.
And of course, you know, they bring the fucking graphic up. He's 19 over 19 from this distance and all that fucking bullshit.
That was.
Absolutely, you have to make that.
I feel like we felt that in that Kansas City game
Browns
2020.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to, but still, you have to give some credit to the
OKC's
defensive side of
defense
the
is-
ball.
That's why I knew they were going to be in every game. This
And they've
playoff.
been a lot better on defense. Everybody was talking about their defense this year, but this offense, it seemed like it took a step back.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think the Bills absolutely just lost this game. I don't think Kansas City
Just
really
like they
did
did
anything
the-
that good.
Just like they did the Cincy game last year.
Yeah.
At home.
Josh Allen had, what, 3
They
turnovers
got
in this game?
Yeah. They got in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got fucking rocked though by Cincinnati.
Yeah, but they I'm just saying they didn't show up for that game.
Yeah, the first half he had what, 2 picks and a fumble?
Yeah, in that game last year?
No, Josh Allen and fucking.
No, not in this game.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he had 0 turnovers.
Really?
That's why I said he had 2 back-to-back games with no turnovers.
I thought he had 2 picks and a fumble.
Well, I think he's had 2 games, 2 losses in the playoffs
Look it
with
up.
0 turnovers.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm pretty
Both of them
positive
were
he
against
did
Kansas
in
City.
the first half.
2 games in the playoffs with no turnovers, and both of them were, or the 2 losses he had against the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Not turning the ball over.
He can't beat. I saw a thing of the playoff wins he has, and the quarterbacks are just insane. Like Skylar Thompson,
Yeah.
Mac Jones.
They should have lost that fucking game last year. That Miami game.
Yeah.
They got lucky as fuck to
Right.
get out of there. They
Yeah,
played
it
that on
doesn't
the
have any
road.
turn-
too,
What game did I watch that he had?
Probably any other game in the regular season?
No, it was a playoff game.
Right?
No, it was the Miami.
Steelers.
No,
It was the
Miami.
Steelers.
Miami the last week to decide for the division.
Is that what it was?
yeah,
yeah.
that
That
was
might have
probably
been
it was
it.
like
They
a playoff game
That
because
might have
it's
been
for the
it.
division.
Yeah,
They were-
that's what it was.
yeah,
Yeah,
they were-
he was trying to give that game
I remember
away.
first half he had 2
Yes.
picks and 1 fumble.
Yes,
They
that
were-
was the Miami game.
They were down 14-7 like that whole fucking
Yeah.
game.
Okay, yeah,
and
you're
they,
right.
they
You're
won
right.
it 21-14. So, yeah. So, Kelsey showing up big, though. 2 touchdowns. Jason Kelsey.
He's the man.
Do we even talk about this?
He's the fucking man. I love him.
I mean, I love Jason Kelsey, too.
Yeah.
He's the man.
I just watched.
Cleveland native.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
I
He's the
actually
man.
just watched the
Yeah,
Kelsey documentary again the other night. I keep falling asleep trying to watch it, but I kind of watched it. I think I watched it all. I don't know. Might have filled in the blanks. But anyway, so definitely really great, great production on the whole thing.
Yeah.
The New Heights podcast going like in the
Did you
top
see
10
MGK
now.
call in on that?
Who was? No, I didn't.
Told him.
Really?
MGK
I'm gonna have to look that up.
calls in, tells Travis, "Hey, I will personally pay you $500,000 and $500,000 to any charity you want, and then some other perk." He's like,
he said he'd
"If
give
you
him
just
breakfast
come
every
back
morning.
and put on one of these," and he holds up a Browns jersey.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
even
awesome.
Nice.
both of them said that was the dream.
Yeah, they did. Jason,
Of course,
and
Jason
Travis.
declaring for
Well,
retirement.
and I would say hell yeah now, but it's like,
And Njoku's better.
yeah,
I
I
like
think
Chief.
Njoku's this way, and I Kelsey's probably.
Kelsey's good, but
Yeah.
he has an insane connection with Pat Mahomes.
he does.
Yeah.
He does.
Well, I will say this though, they would be one hell of a fucking matchup issue, Njoku and Kelsey.
yeah.
Oof. Because Kelsey wouldn't have to worry about blocking.
Good luck. Do you have 2 you have 2 JOKs on your defense? Because
Right.
that's what you need.
Right. Right. All right.
Nobody has 2 coverage linebackers.
The other big stat that kind of
No.
jumped out to me, though,
Niners do.
was Mahomes.
Yeah.
Going back to Josh Allen here, though, too. Mahomes also 5 passing plays with 20-plus yards. Josh Allen didn't have any of those.
No.
So 20-plus yards
You can't
by
count
5.
that dude out of anything.
Right. And I've been saying this now for a couple weeks. I'm like, I just don't want to go against Andy Reid and Mahomes. I just don't. Not
I would
in the playoffs.
have loved to see that matchup.
I'm betting them against the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it.
I would
I like
because
it.
like we said, like Baltimore, even their big wins, like it's still like there's fluky shit that happens. There's a bunch of turnovers.
Yeah.
There's weird fumbles.
So what's developing is Baltimore, who's not a great home team.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City just showed they can win on the road.
Right.
Correct. Which
Good-
I know that
good
was
luck.
all the
Hey,
media.
well,
Good
and-
luck, Baltimore.
And tell me that Buffalo is probably a more hostile environment than Baltimore.
Absolutely.
Yes.
'Cause you know,
Absolutely.
they're a
Other
lot-
than when you get out of the stadium in Baltimore, then you're not allowed to be there because
Hide your kids,
you're
hide your
white.
right. Hide your kids, hide
You're
your
not allowed
wife.
to be white in that city.
YT. Definitely the ghetto there is terrible.
Oh,
You
it's
mean
more than that.
the
I had a
entire
buddy.
city?
I had a buddy that they went there for
Yeah.
they're Cincinnati fans. They went
Okay.
there for the Cincinnati Ravens game.
Yeah.
They said there's one area of the downtown that you're allowed to be in. Everywhere else, black people literally will not get on the elevator with you.
Wow.
He said they were coming down the elevator in their hotel. There was this black lady, door open. She said, "I'll catch the next one." Whitey.
Damn.
And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. And he's like, yeah, that was fucking literally everywhere they went. They're only
Wow.
allowed to hit one strip of bars downtown. That's it. Everybody told him, because they all got drunk. Obviously, they're my friends. So they get on their little bird scooters and start riding, and they had people like wave them down, like, stop. If you go farther, shit will happen to you.
Wow.
And this is downtown Baltimore. Not the ghetto at all.
Okay.
Probably the most racist city in America.
Worse than Boston.
Well, it's the other way.
Well,
Boston.
yeah, it's just the opposite racist. But in Boston, I don't think black people are getting like shooed off of elevators.
No.
Right.
No, that's the liberal racists.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say anything in front of your
That's
face.
the not racism.
Right.
Or Baltimore's the not racism because black people can't be racist. So
Right.
Yes.
there's technically no racism.
This is true. You're learning. You're learning. Getting back to Diggs. Where was Diggs?
Trump 2024.
Diggs 3 for 8 for 21 yards.
That's actually my CJ because I'll wait to do it.
That's
for the
okay. 3 for 8 for 21 yards though, including a late just absolute dot. I mean, I know he had that one that was overthrown, but fucking Diggs had to catch
Got
that fucking
both
ball.
hands on it.
He had to catch that ball.
Yeah.
So
They win the game if he catches it.
I mean, the biggest play in Diggs history is
A drop.
well.
Talk about-
Before that one where he actually did well.
Yeah.
With the Vikings, right?
The Vikings, that was a
Case
huge
Keenum.
fuck up on the defense.
On the
That's
Saints.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
That play was insane, though. I couldn't imagine.
It was awesome.
I couldn't
was.
imagine being a Vikings fan at that stadium seeing that. Or was that New Orleans?
It was.
That was
It was
at,
in a dome.
it was at Minnesota.
It was at
Was that
Minnesota.
It was at
It's,
Minnesota.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's the
the
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis
yeah,
Miracle.
it's
That's right.
noted as the loudest sporting event
Ever.
ever. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
It would have
So-
been insane. to
we got.
watch.
Were you up there last year in that Tampa game? Was it me and you? When the Joku made that fucking that catch, I think it was me and you. Because I was out. I was out in the. Cause I was like pacing out in the fucking, like getting a beer, and I was just.
I don't remember a lot of those games.
Well, but that was still when our guy. That was still when our guy was there.
yeah.
So I gave him some cash, got a beer, and I'm just like watching it, listening to Jimmy D, and I remember it got pretty loud, but it was also like people left because that game was fucking. You know how last year was.
Yeah.
Right.
But we were fucking that Pittsburgh game. That last drive was another notch. We got to see some pretty good fucking endings. That Chicago game, we
Chicago
almost
was
left.
awesome. Yeah.
Jets game
Jets game
but
was awesome.
I'm just saying, like, yeah.
where you left.
Well, I'm just saying, like the comeback wins are the best ones I think to be at.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I got something for Diggs for my CJ
All right.
because
Well,
he claims he's a top 5 wideout and
Hey,
doesn't
we can go.
show up.
We can go. Let's do it. Let's just go right into CJ's right now, and then we'll cover this week's.
Well, yeah,
games.
Diggs
Let's
is
do
my
it.
CJ.
Go ahead, bring it up.
He's a fucking diva. He's one of these diva wide receivers.
Yeah.
About not getting the ball, fire the OC, all this shit.
Sure.
And I'm gonna read you yards from his last like. Fuck. I didn't even see that.
I dug that one up pretty deep for you, Paint.
That's a good one. So yeah, last fuck, we can go deep as fuck. Last however many games. Big game. Biggest one of your career, pretty much essentially. 3 receptions for 21 yards.
Yep. That's what I just read. Yeah.
Before that, 7 for 52, 4 for 26, 5 for 29, 4 for 48, 4 for 24 against Kansas City. So they have his number.
Right.
He can't play against them. 6 for 74, 4 for 27, 3 for 34, 6 for 86. He doesn't have a game over 100 yards till October 15th.
Wow.
But he's top 5.
Yeah.
Fucking
Dude,
more offense,
So,
more offense.
Minnesota won the fuck out of that trade.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Dude, Justin Jefferson.
Dude, Diggs is not good.
Justin
Right.
Jefferson.
Everybody
is,
like I always pay attention in like fantasy. People are taking him like early, and I'm just like, fucking why? There's nothing
Right.
special about him.
Right.
trying to think of a good comp to him. He's like,
Corey Coleman, that's his fucking
Well,
comp.
I mean, he's still gonna get.
I'm not
But
going
he's
now.
way
1,000
worse.
yards.
He's way worse. Yeah, still got 1,000 yards. Yeah,
we talking about the Blitnikoff winner at
But
Baylor,
that's-
or are we talking
but
about?
that's just because he is healthy for every game.
Right. He's kind of like fucking Miles Austin, like some dude like that. That's just like there. Like his big play days are over.
Robert Woods.
Robert Woods.
Yeah. I see that.
Who's the fucking dude from?
I would say Tyler Lockett, but Tyler Lockett's way fucking better.
Oh yeah.
He's
And
been
sneaky
doing it a
good.
long time.
He's
too.
sneaky good.
Yeah, but Diggs
So-
claims he's fucking top 5 guy.
He's getting paid like
So
it.
when you're reading stats down like that, the first thing that comes to mind when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen and you're reading those kind of stats,
You know he's slinging it to him.
right.
He's not throwing him the ball.
You're either number one.
He's number 1 in targets for them.
You can't run a fucking route tree.
No.
You can't run a fucking route
Or catch the ball when you need to.
because you can't shake anybody.
Hey, remember when Marquez Valdez-Scantling dropped that ball for the win? Everybody fucking bashed him forever. You have to catch that.
Right.
Crickets when it comes to Diggs.
Right.
Dropping an easier
Yeah,
pass.
and Valdez Scantling is like a 2B wide receiver.
Yeah, not even a 2A. He's a 2B. Pretty much your third
Yeah,
option.
yeah.
But-
on most teams, he's number 3.
That's my first thought when you're reading those off was this guy can't run a route tree. He can't get open.
Maybe not.
I think he's toast. Like his best years are behind him.
Yeah.
His best years were in
I
Minnesota.
just hate how
honestly,
much
in
of
that
a
first
diva
year.
he is about it. And
Right.
then that's the production he puts out.
Sure.
Right.
It's not like they're not throwing him the
And
ball.
believe me, I've been in some of these Bills Mafia groups. They're fucking off that guy. They'd like to bury him underneath
Good.
a fucking GMC Safari.
should.
Yeah, like because when
Crunch him underneath a folding table.
Yeah.
back in the day when
On
like
fire.
Randy Moss or fucking T.O. like at least when they were out there they fucking cooked.
Well, let's be honest. When it comes to Diggs too, he's not a big wide receiver.
No, there's nothing like
Nothing intangible that he has.
Right.
no,
Not crazy hands.
nope.
Not crazy fast. No crazy size. No crazy route running.
Correct.
What does he have?
No,
Right.
He made one good catch
I will
in
take
one
Amari
game.
Cooper over him every
Oh
single
my
day.
god, so underrated.
I think Amari Cooper is top 10, top 8 wide receiver. in the
He
league.
is, because he literally is.
I mean, and he's cooked with Jacoby. He's cooked with
Yeah.
Deshaun. He's cooked with fucking Flacco.
Just sits there and is quiet.
And PJ Walker. He had like 100 yards with PJ Walker. I mean, Jesus.
Well,
Diggs is having
you're not a good wideout when you have 276 yards in one game.
Yeah.
Right. And Diggs is having negative yards with PJ Walker, right?
Diggs might not
Because
have a
he's
catch.
only getting a jet
He's not
sweep
getting
and
a
he's
target.
getting
Yeah,
smoked.
Yeah.
Which that's another thing the Bills are trying to pull out of their ass. A jet sweep with him. They got fucking
shout
smoked.
out back to that game. DeMar Hamlin tried a fake punt, and
Yeah,
how's
go
that
ahead.
working out for you?
Not good.
They just literally did that for
We'll
publicity.
get some more Bills.
Comeback player of the year, right?
Because if it would have
Trying
got
to
the first down,
boost
it would
those
have been.
stats a little bit?
Can you imagine? It would.
It's fucking glorious.
That would have been everywhere if he got the first down on that play,
Oh yeah.
and he lost yards.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like the diva wide receivers now they don't get the same coverage that like those dudes did back in the day.
Because there were no diva wide receivers. Back
Well, I
in the
mean,
day.
T.O. Randy Moss was like that type of.
I know, but there weren't any other ones. Is what I'm saying. Now there's fucking 15 diva wide receivers. in the
Fucking
NFL.
75% of them come out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
The fucking head cases. The throwing the fucking Gatorade bottles like AB. The fucking Chase Claypool head cases. Fucking Pickens is a fucking head case. I'm
That
telling
dude's
you that
psycho.
right now.
He
That
might
guy's
have
a
murdered
fucking head
somebody
case.
before
Yeah.
it's all done.
Who else came out of there? Oh, the fucking asshole that shot himself in the leg in New York when he
Plexico?
went to the Giants.
Plexico
Yeah.
Burress?
Fucking
Well, that was that
head
same
case.
time.
Head case.
Well, I don't know if he was a head case. I think he was just dumb.
You can't shoot yourself in the own fucking thigh and not be a head case. You can't cheddar bob your ass outside of a New York nightclub and not be a head case.
I think Bill Burr had that right. He just didn't have enough white friends.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have that thing registered? What the fuck? Come
Yeah.
on.
All right. Ryan, did you save that one from Baker?
Oh,
I'm sure yours is
I do
Baker.
have to urine real quick.
Okay. All right, we'll wait till you get
Too
one.
many lattes. You guys can go. I just got pissed.
We would have moved
Who do we
like
got on
6
YouTube
times for
watching?
Josh. One
that still
guy
Jordan?
for my work, I think.
Huh?
One guy for my work runs a dock. He just leaves us on, I think. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it, buddy.
Tim? Hell yeah. Oh, we've had people in and out, but
Okay.
still got it. I keep working on Twitter, but
Well, once I get this TikTok shit up and going, I mean, as far as like the amount we need. By the way, folks, please go over to our TikTok page, and if nothing else, follow us over there.
Right.
Please, because we need 1,000 followers just so we can go live. Then we can really start doing some obnoxious chats.
Yes.
Because you have all the assholes in there on TikTok blowing your fucking shit up. I've seen it.
Yeah, and, if you guys tune in, we have all of the links to all of our shit on our Facebook page, to YouTube as well. That's another one where we need to keep growing. So all these, live broadcasts will get more and more. It'd be awesome if we could get that from anybody that tunes in. We appreciate it. We appreciate you guys coming in on my page on Facebook, or if you're coming in on the RawDawgers header on Facebook, we appreciate it. But that would also be awesome if you could hit that subscribe button.
Absolutely.
Doesn't cost you a damn thing.
Nope.
It helps us, maybe someday get a couple bucks a week from this.
Sure. I gotta tell the old folks a lot of times. I'm like,
motherfuckers.
just go ahead and subscribe. Yeah, but how much does it cost? It doesn't cost you anything. What do you mean it doesn't cost me anything? You can get on YouTube, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, except you'll get an alert on your flip phone.
Right.
At least once a week.
That you can't watch it on. Just like the internet, it's free.
All right. Ryan, you're crying Jordan of the week.
All right.
This one's got to be good.
And it's funny, dude, because I knew as soon as I posted something on Facebook, this one chick would say something, and it was faster than I thought. So good. And she's, said everything I thought she... I haven't said a goddamn word on Facebook about Baker this year. It's just been... It was exactly what I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And this is probably...
I saw her comment.
Yeah. This is definitely them.
Yeah. She did. She said, for hating him so much, he's always all over your feed. And he was like, never.
When?
Once, actually.
Tell me.
Yeah. You think I'm petty enough to delete it after?
And this is a great one that fucking Sean made. It's on the same couch.
Didn't I see the Brett Favre one too?
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
Well, and I just love that is so historic because he didn't start that game with a fucking mustache. He literally went in the locker room and shaved and came out looking like a piece of shit.
That's the trench coat?
Yeah, that's what I say. He's only missing the trench coat.
So his face literally looked like that.
It's
There's
Snickers.
no editing there.
Yeah.
We should send that into CBS.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a Super Bowl commercial.
That's a good one too.
That's an all timer.
That's the Brett Favre one.
Yeah,
that one
it is.
meshes so good.
Yeah, that's the Brett Favre one. That one's so good.
And there's obviously some other ones here. Oh, I this one fucking I lost.
That's Baker's actual pick, though.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
I didn't see that. I haven't seen that one. That's good.
That face is so perfect.
Dude,
Both of them.
right.
Oh, that's so good.
And they fucking put the goddamn headset over the goddamn hat.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
I got that.
You just found that one?
Dude, it was 10 minutes after the game was over.
Oh, that's so good. I love that the internet is just completely undefeated.
Somebody had that. Oh, and this one, you'll probably like this one. Well, when I seen it the first time, I was like, "Is that
Hunter Mayfield?"
Well, that was like, I thought it was just Baker, and I'm like, "Oh shit, that's Trump's kid."
Biden.
Did you see the video of the reporters following him?
Oh,
because he had his deposition or whatever.
Yes, I did see that.
That was so.
Didn't
funny.
I send that to you guys?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Hunter, what kind of crack do you like?
He just looks over like
you're stupid. It's not even what we call it.
I cook my own dick.
Yeah.
All right, I have a couple CJs here. One goes out to Ugga 10, the Georgia Bulldogs mascot, passing away. He is now the winningest Ugga in the school history. He just, I love the fact I was going back and forth with.
Fits so good.
And they get the color of the eyes perfect.
Yeah.
I was going back and forth. I was down a rabbit hole this morning. I sent the screenshot to Ryan of some Georgia asshole just going out of Ohio State, called them Bio State because we're buying all the players. I love the fact that all these players.
What about Texas A&M?
What about Georgia?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. So I had to give poor Uga there, Rip Uga, had to give him the winningest Uga of all time. I had to give him the CJ, and he was just going at me about Ohio State just going and basically plucking all these SEC teams away from Alabama. I'm sorry, asshole. They'd rather go and play for Ohio State than they would Georgia.
Well, they just can't play for Georgia. That's the problem.
Right.
I don't think these transfer portals, it's Ohio State seeking them out. Like, hey, so you think they sent an email to everybody that played for Alabama? Hey, your fucking coach retired.
I think
we have a coach here.
I
don't think that happens.
There's the
I think the Bill O'Brien hire was like a chess match.
Yeah, that's an NFL. That's got NFL connections. Ohio State, there's Ohio State, Alabama, probably Georgia now. Like, there's 5 or 6 schools where if you start
Oregon,
but if you start for like 2 years at Ohio State or even 1 year, you're going to the NFL,
right?
Or you have a shot to go to the NFL.
If you want to talk about paying players and you can tell. Let's talk about Dabo Sweeney, because why do they just suck now?
Right. Because he doesn't believe
they
in
had
NIL.
like a 4-year run and now nothing. They haven't been anything in the last.
Vehemently against the NIL.
Yeah.
So
that's such a shitty position to take too.
Yeah.
Like if I was a head coach, I would be against the way they have the transfer portal set up. I'd be against the way.
It should be just like the trade deadline for the NFL.
Yeah, there should be one time a year that you could do that, or if the head coach leaves, the player should have the choice to be able to do that.
I agree.
Any major change in brass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we'd still be under that blanket because Nick Saban retired from Alabama, and then all of a sudden we're getting all these Alabama.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't mind it in the off season. It's just fucking.
No, but Ryan's saying if the
yeah.
coach goes and leaves, even though like Julian Sand was recruited by Nick Saban. Then he decides to jump and go. Caleb Downs comes to Ohio State. So, I mean, I just got to...
Georgia's just salty because they wouldn't go to Georgia. They'd be fucking...
Right. That's my
if
point.
They went there.
Well, that too, yeah. I just figured the Georgia fans hate it.
Georgia, they recruit well anyway, so I don't think...
Yeah.
I mean, we do too, so I don't know.
I mean, Georgia obviously is probably winning the SEC for the next couple of years.
Well, I think...
Right?
Yeah.
With Saban leaving?
Yeah, they have to. I don't see Alabama's not going to be the same, just like Michigan's not going to be the same.
I think if Georgia made the Final Four, they still win a championship.
Yeah.
They just got fucked.
Right.
Because they couldn't be put in. They lost to Alabama.
Well,
they
that
didn't win the SEC.
Alabama,
yeah, that's what it was. That's how the conversation started. No, go ahead.
I saw a video of Feinbaum talking about it. He said Ohio State would have been a 7-point favorite over Washington in Vegas. Georgia would have been a 9-point favorite. Yeah. So how are the 4 best teams in there?
Correct.
Right.
But now we're going to go to this 12-team playoff.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let's do
but
it.
you're still going to have those.
I don't think so.
Those
There's
13, 14.
No,
they're not legit.
No,
they're not legit. You're always going to have squabbling about who's in, who's out.
No. There's no 12 seed winning.
Well, and that's the thing.
I'm just saying.
So
there's
the
13,
conversation.
14,
the conversation now
is
you're talking about Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, maybe Clemson, like a team like that. Now the conversations will be like, well, there might be somebody that said, well, what about Hawaii or what about fucking like
just an undefeated team that isn't good.
Like South Florida.
And they're probably going to get
South
in.
Florida a couple years ago.
There's going to be
Cincinnati 2 years ago.
There's going to be 3 SEC, 3 Big Ten every year at least.
I would say outside of the top 6, there's never going to be anybody win outside of the top 6.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them a
great.
chance.
Yeah.
Like Cincinnati a couple years ago, I don't know.
And I don't know how it's set up. Like, I don't know if there's going to be buys for like the 1 and 2 seeds in this playoff.
I think there
Should
is.
be.
Okay.
I think
but
3 buys.
Okay, top 3.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
buys.
how
Well, if there's 12, you'd have
you'd have to have at least 2 or 4. Right, that's true.
I think
4.
I think it's
4.
buys.
Okay. So then you're gonna have those 4 sitting out, which would have been the old 14 playoff basically, and then you're going to have the 8. But I mean, I could see like, I could see a 12 beating a 4 maybe, or a 5, a 12 beating a 5.
It's gonna depend how you get your seed.
I don't think
11
so.
beating a 6.
Because if you have a 10-2 Texas,
Because you're gonna have like
and a
fucking
12-0,
Notre
13-0
Dame
Liberty.
play Texas.
Right.
Yeah, like. That's
I mean,
not gonna-
Liberty was undefeated this year, and they got just fucking ran
like
by
they're not
fucking
in the
Oregon.
same division because they're pretty much not.
They're in Conference USA, and there's a reason.
Yeah.
Because you play teams like James Madison.
Still very impressive that they did,
is.
that their first year.
Well,
It is.
and like
Division One.
a few years ago when UCF was undefeated,
Yeah, that's
they
what I was
got
saying.
their
Yeah.
fucking heads cut off.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
there's no outside of the top 8. I don't.
The media-
even the top 6. Excuse me.
The media
I don't think anybody has a chance outside of the top
Right.
6.
and it's different than basketball on the field of 64.
Yeah, a basketball game is easier to win than a football game.
Yeah. Okay. Another one I want to give out. This is a shout out to Jordan Ward in case you are the one that's still kind of tuned in to us. But I don't know if you guys heard this. They had it on ESPN actually yesterday. He went ahead. I told him to go ahead and forward the story to me, giving him a shout out for the crying Jordan. But apparently there was, if you haven't heard of this, it's the National Fantasy Football Challenge or Championship. I believe it's based out of Las Vegas. So it's basically a $200 buy-in, up to 1,500 players, and they play into the playoffs, into the NFL playoffs. Top prize is $150,000.
Fantasy?
Yes, $200 buy-in, over 1,500 players.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Well, how
So-
do they manage? You just pick your best team, so pretty much like.
Yeah. Well, it's set up just kind of like ours is. It's just like, but they play into the playoffs where ours ends like.
Yeah, but how
back-
do you draft with 15?
That I don't know. I don't know exactly how
probably
that's all
just-
drafted.
Is there a redraft for the playoff, maybe? Or
I don't know.
I would.
Like
I don't know how
FanDuel
you would
thing?
work that.
I
like a
wonder.
FanDuel
Well,
thing, maybe?
that or I
It might have to be like a DraftKings.
Yeah,
or
where you have
whatever.
a limitation on money wise, a fake
Yeah.
money wise,
And
and
you
go ahead
pick
and
your
get that in
team
there.
every week.
Yeah. So anyway, though, there was
What's it on? Did you say?
it's called the National Fantasy Football Championship. It's held basically Las Vegas. I think it's ran out around that area. They've had it. I was telling Ryan, Nathan Zagura touted he won it 2 years in a row.
It
Came in
has
first
to
place.
be like a DraftKings.
But it's a
style.
$200
That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, $200 buy-in. So basically, $150,000 to first place.
Put
It probably
your
pays
lineup
out
in
to other
every
guys. Yeah, that or it maybe there's like let's say there's a Josh Allen, and he can only be picked 20 times before that player's done.
That still wouldn't work with that many people.
yeah, I would think.
I'm just throwing that number out.
I don't
there.
think like you'd have to be able to pick whoever the fuck.
It
you
has
want.
to be a DraftKings style.
Okay.
Certain amount of
With a-
money.
With
Cap,
limitations.
yeah.
With limitations. Okay. Or
Something that you can make a formidable. fantasy
or you just set a lineup of just like you said with DraftKings players every week.
Yeah,
That's
weekly.
Yeah.
how I would think it would have
Right.
to be.
So anyway, the problem is though, is that actually one of the statisticians that run the sports hub that runs this National Football Championship was also in the pool, and he was changing players out mid-game for his own team.
I don't want to pay him.
All right.
Just gonna get a max contract. He's
Him or
wide receiver
Mario?
1.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's
I-
a fucking $16 million a year guy.
They're gonna have around 40 mil in cap this year to work with.
Got to pay Chubb.
Well, first year.
Just had
probably
some
about
breaking
5
news
mil.
that Deshaun Watson wants T.
Pearson
Higgins.
said you would love this because it is awesome. Sure. These are facts.
Anyway, so one of the guys that actually runs it, that's in the room there, because you know, Brandon, when you have a player and he's locked out once the game starts, right?
Yeah.
He was switching players mid-game. He did it back-to-back
that's
weekends.
fucked.
The
That's how you
guys,
get
the
caught,
guys had
dumbass.
right. So the guy's name hasn't been released yet. They're saying for laws. Jordan was telling me it was actually an ESPN associate, but it wasn't. I went ahead and read about this. But actually, he's part of this the Sports Hub company that basically does all all
Middleman
the setups.
stuff.
The middleman shit for
He probably has all the
NFFC.
backdoor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, he had the ability to unlock players and stick players in for his own team,
That's fucked.
and he got caught.
As you should.
So I got to give a crying Jordan to ESPN because probably the biggest fantasy football platform, along with Yahoo, but it's the National Fantasy Football Championship is
Yahoo
actually a
sucks.
thing. So
ESPN's way better. Oh, that's the one you wanted right there. Fantasy.
just go.
Oh? Was that not the one?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the same one. It was just a double.
No, he made one of the fantasy.
Oh.
That's all.
Well, it's still ESPN.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's fucked. What an asshole.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Absolutely. Just
I'm all for trying to finagle some stuff to get some money, but you're just a dick for doing
So
that.
now everything, all these people are talking about, sports gambling's fixed, whether it be fantasy, it just adds a little bit more kindling to that fire. Whether you believe that that's a thing or not. Who knows?
I was trying
And
to
the
talk
conspiracy
myself
theories.
into it against, what game was I texting what the line was?
No.
I thought the line was 54 and a half. Fuck, what game was
total?
that? Yeah. I thought the line was 54 and a half, but Mark told me it wasn't. It was 50. But they conveniently didn't. It was the fucking Buccaneers game.
Oh, this last weekend.
Yeah,
okay,
I was like,
okay.
they didn't conveniently convert on the 2-point conversion because the line's 54 and a half.
That is,
Well,
you did say that.
I will
I do
say
remember
this.
that.
But Mark said the line was at 50, so I was like, okay,
So
I'm
it
just
kinda pulls
talking
it out of the
myself
water.
into conspiracy here.
I will say this. I think what doesn't help that shit, too, is the analytics approach to football now.
Right.
Because when that shit happens, and I do think...
I like the analytics approach.
I do, too, to some extent, but if I was them, I would just kick the fucking extra point. In a playoff game, I don't know. But, I don't know. I think that there's definitely some rigging when it comes to some of these fucking officials. You can't tell me some of these officials aren't fucking... Because they're making good money, but it's like $250K a year.
Right.
There's billions of dollars
And
in
it's
this
so
fucking
easy.
sport.
You can ruin an entire drive with one holding call.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
and 20.
It is.
First and 20 now.
And
Go
who's-
or any big play. Boom.
Whose interest is it? Why would Roger Goodell give a fuck?
He wouldn't.
Right. Unless he's getting kickbacks, too.
Well, I'm just saying because even if there is a thing about bad press is good, any press is good press.
Right.
If you're talking about nothing's going to change, people are still going to watch this because we've watched games that are pretty fucking blatant.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
And we still come back every year.
It's
and we
football.
watch.
The NFL is king.
Maybe we're the problem.
We are the problem.
What if we find out,
Damn it. It's about goddamn time.
Yeah, what if we revisit this, 2 years from now, and then all of a sudden the shit comes out, and just like when we were kids and we thought WWF was real,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we become 10-year-olds, and the fucking shit is opened up to us.
I think with the NFL, it's somewhere in between because I don't think every game is like that. But there's some crews that it's like every time they're together, it's the same way.
Did you see the shit come out about the Chiefs-Ravens game? So the head official is... I read a whole fucking thing about it. Statistically, penalizes home teams 30% more than away teams.
So every time
Every single stat this guy has for penalties is there were some of them where 7 to 12% of road teams get penalized for this.
Okay.
But this guy's stats are 30% of home teams get penalized for this.
So what you're
So
saying
they're
is take
saying
the cheat.
they're setting Kansas City up.
Until I see
Which
it,
I would love to see the Ravens penalized because they need to be.
right, deserved. It would, they don't make them full-time employees. I think this is the reason why they don't have to. It's not they're not going to bear the brunt of it. It's going to be whoever fucks up and gets caught. it's gonna be on them. Just like
right.
just
right.
it's almost kind of
So
like
they're like self-contracted. The officials are.
Yeah, they're not.
They're seasonal.
They get paid per game.
So they're not NFL employees. They're self-contractors.
Yep.
So what Ryan's saying is the NFL doesn't really want to give them full time, where they in the off season they could be watching film,
Well,
Then there's a union
trying to
law
be
that
better at being a ref.
Well, then if they fuck something up, they're liable.
Correct.
The NFL is liable.
That's also why he's going for it.
Well,
Yeah,
and
if there's a shitty official, Goodell's just like,
yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
you're fired, and you're gonna go to you get sucked off 3 times a week prison for 6 months.
Perfect.
And here's fucking $800,000 to not say anything for the rest of your life.
I want Kansas City to win just to get rid of the NFL Super Bowl logo controversy.
Yes.
Because even like my mom sent me and my brother a picture. Like, see, I told you it's fucking rigged.
It's the Ravens.
I'm
and
like,
the
okay,
49ers.
Mom. First of all, when Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl, that's red. That's not orange. You know how many fucking red teams can... There's like 17 teams
Correct.
that could fit red into the logo.
Right.
Especially if you're using orange as red.
Well, and I feel like
And green, okay, there's another one. You got like 7 other teams.
but
Red, green, and
Purple is very
it's tough.
distinguished. There's only 2 teams with that.
Right.
So if it does...
Who's the other team in purple?
Vikings.
Oh, well, that's a different kind of shade, but yeah.
It's still purple.
Yeah, it's purple.
Right.
Just like when Philly went, it's like a Miami.
Well, now they went back to their
green.
old color, which is like more purple than what they had.
Yeah, but still last year when Philly went, it's like a teal green. It's like
Correct.
a Miami green. It's not fucking dark green.
Right.
Right.
But to spin off of that, so people are kind of twisting that too, and they're saying, well, but it could be an inroad for Detroit because the red and the blue make purple.
I don't like that.
So, I mean, what I'm saying is you could
That
kind of
isn't as
twist
cool.
it. It's not,
No.
but you could kind of twist it however
Well,
you want
it's
to
just
twist
as much as they twisted the red and yellow to fucking make it the
Right.
Bengals.
How about they just make it Braille next year? So you have to fucking dig your own fucking eyes out to see the logo. Well, we know Helen Keller's not fucking playing. So much for the fucking conspiracy theory.
I just love that it's never been silver or blue, so the Cowboys are just never gonna make it. That's my favorite part.
All right, we're going to get through this. The championship games, though. This weekend. Lions at 49ers. Niners -7. Here's the part. I'm going to go back to this whole Debo thing. So everybody talking about how much Debo means to this 49ers offense. Although I feel McCaffrey means a hell of a lot more. I think Trent Williams means more than Debo.
Yes.
So he started.
We saw that against the Browns.
Correct. So he started yesterday, and the line has not moved. He practiced yesterday. That line has not fucking
That is
moved
a
all
big
week.
line in it.
-7.
I think pure wide receiver Ayuk is a better wideout. than
Right.
Debo, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a gadget guy. It's fun.
Yeah.
But it's awesome to have 2 gadget guys.
Yeah.
Because
True.
you can put McCaffrey out wide, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude's absolutely going to run around. He's absolutely going to catch it.
Okay. So I'm going to go double down on this or triple down. Kyle Shanahan's not that guy because here's my thing. If he's the fucking coach and the offense has to run, and if it's dependent on fucking Debo Samuel fucking gadget guy, you can't be all that as a fucking offensive play caller.
I think he's also limited by quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think he can absolutely be the guy.
He also beat Green Bay like 3 or 4 times in a row with Aaron Rodgers, didn't he?
It's 4, I think.
Yeah.
All in the playoffs.
28-3.
Yeah, that's defensive. That's not
definitely
offensive.
Well, you got to run the fucking ball. Don't
Well,
give the fucking Patriots.
Turns
the ball.
out they didn't even have a running back. They had Cordero Patterson.
84 in the backfield.
yeah.
All right. To me,
Throw Devin Brown out there at quarterback.
Yeah.
33.
I mean, when Shanahan was in Cleveland, we almost went to the fucking playoffs with Brian Hoyer and fucking I don't even
Johnny Manziel.
Well,
Before that, we've had this argument.
I mean that offense was not that good, and they looked good when he was there. Then he left in like week 13, and they lost every game after that.
All right. Lions secondary though. We know this is a bad
Very
spot.
bad.
Bad spot for the secondary.
And it doesn't help that their front isn't really that good.
Yeah.
I think that dude.
Yeah,
from Michigan
Aiden's not good.
I mean, if he's getting stomped by
he's
Trent
like
Williams.
Kyle Vanden Bosch. Like, yeah, he gets numbers, but it's
I mean,
it's
Williams' PFF grade is like through the fucking roof against
You're talking about Trent
good
Williams?
rushers. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Against great fucking
Aiden Hutchinson
rushers.
is not doing anything.
Trent
Okay.
Richards or Trent Williams. Trent Richardson. Jesus.
Jesus, that's a flashback.
Ah,
Reach.
I'm scared. Yeah, Trent Williams is probably a top 3 tackle of all time.
Old though, but still has it.
Oh, dude, he's
His grades through the roof, like I said. And just kind of like dickhead over there at Pittsburgh, when Trent Williams doesn't play for the 49ers, it hurts.
oh,
And it's
TJ
seen
Watt.
on the record with TJ Watt and that it's basically the same kind of stat.
Yeah,
So when he's out, now I could say the line, if he was out, I could see that line movement. I could see losing a half a point. Or
We
losing
saw how
a
bad-
full point, which
You
if
saw how
McCaffrey
bad
was out.
Purdy looks without him.
Right. So, I don't know. But Lions secondary, I think, just has to show up. You got to slow down Kittle, Debo, McCaffrey, Ayuk. I know you're definitely a big Ayuk guy.
I like
And
it.
I like the
good.
guy too.
He's fucking
I
good.
like the guy too. So, I just think McCaffrey.
I like a guy that you just throw the ball to him and he fucking catches it.
Right. So, I
Is
mean,
that so much to want?
McCaffrey, I think.
Because he does. He catches it.
Yeah.
I think he
McCaffrey-
has like 3 drops on the year and has like 110 catches.
Right.
That's fucking pretty good.
He's the anti-Diggs.
Yeah. The anti.
He runs really good fucking routes too.
Oh, I did watch a video on most drops this year.
Yeah.
Guess who is top 3? You'll never guess.
Really?
Never guess him.
God. Whew. I have to name the top 3 ball droppers.
Just guess one guy that was
One
in the
guy
top
that was
3.
in the top 3.
Pretty sure he was number 3. He had 9 drops this year. He plays for our team.
Njoku?
No. Njoku had 7.
Elijah Moore.
No.
Cooper?
Jerome Ford.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He had some bad
Had
games.
think
there.
I
9 drops.
I think I remember.
on like 41 targets.
I think I remember.
That's so bad.
I think I remember him dropping like 6 screenplays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the easiest passes to ever catch had 9 drops.
Well, remember when some of those games, DTR against Pittsburgh.
Well, and I feel like a lot of the drops came with DTR because he was like gunning the fuck out of the ball.
To a screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey, Sean, catch this.
All right. I think the turnovers obviously need to be limited on both sides of the ball. We both know your boy Purdy can definitely turn the ball over. But Jared Goff kind of doing the Josh Allen thing, not turning the ball over in the playoffs. So we know Goff puts it on the ground or throws those random picks every now and again.
I like golf though.
This will be a good game.
I like
think,
golf in Detroit.
Yeah, I think this is a home win just because they're not in Detroit.
They cover in
Goes
7.
back to the fucking him up. Well, I guess no. They won the 1 seed anyways.
But if that game would have went the other way in Dallas,
Yeah.
they would have had a shot that last week
To become the 1
to
seed.
become the 1 seed.
Correct.
Yeah. Giant. Because I think this game is won just because they're not in Detroit.
Well, and San Francisco played the Rams the last week too. So Rams would have been full bore.
Yeah.
I mean, Niners would have been full bore on that game.
Yeah, but it's not like the Rams are slouches.
No. Correct. But what you're saying is if that Dallas Detroit game went differently,
They would have to play.
they'd have a
if they wanted the
possibility
1
that
seed.
it would have came through Detroit instead of San Francisco.
There was a possibility.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like they were playing Arizona.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For
No, but what I'm saying is the Niners probably gave rest to more of their starts. I didn't watch that game.
Yeah, because it was already locked up. If it wasn't locked up,
But
they
if it
would have
wasn't
had to
locked
run.
up, they would have had to play those guys completely.
Yeah, because Detroit could have won 13, and they would have had to win that game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I literally just think.
Who you
it's
got?
the I think it's the Niners
Think it's
because
the
it's
Niners.
not in Detroit. If they played it in Detroit, I think Detroit wins.
They covering the 7?
No. Fuck no.
You don't think they're covering the 7?
No.
I mean,
think it's
I know last week they
like
were
by 10.
10.5 point favorites, and Green Bay kept it close. Probably could have won that game. We just talked
I
about.
think 49ers win by like 10.
Yeah, and to me, like you said, they start out slow. It's going to depend. Like, if I'm Detroit, I want the ball first. I want to go down there and get the lead. It's
A lot of teams are going that way also. That's part of that whole analytics thing, too.
well, if I'm on the
winning
road,
winning it.
if
right,
I'm on the road,
correct.
I want to go down there and get the lead. If I'm at home, fuck you. See what
Give
you
them
do.
the
See what
ball.
you do on offense. We'll try to double up at the end of half.
Right. And that's the whole thing coming out of the half. It's part of that whole kind of deal.
I think Detroit covers. I'm not going to pick against the Niners. They have too many fucking players everywhere, and they're pretty damn fucking healthy right now.
And their defense is so good.
Yeah, like Detroit's going to have to win this game on offense.
Like Detroit just played Tampa Bay, and their defense is absolutely dog shit.
I mean, I think McCaffrey could have a fucking game.
Yeah.
He has every
You
chance
talk about
to.
him. No, I mean could be a fucking explosion for McCaffrey in this game. I mean, more than a normal McCaffrey week in and week out. I mean, this guy, this could be like, a Triple Crown type situation.
It just sucks to
Where
play
he
against him.
throws, he catches one, and he
I'll
throws.
say
Yeah,
this
you know
though.
what I'm saying?
I'll say this though. San Fran's defense, as many guys they have on that side, they haven't really played up to that potential all year.
Yeah.
And if anybody can play against that defense, it's that Detroit offense.
I mean, I'm pulling for Detroit.
I am too.
I absolutely.
But I'm
want
saying
Detroit.
San Francisco's covering it easy. I think it's 10.
Really?
I think it's 10. I think it's at least
I think
10,
Detroit
if not 14.
plays really tough. I think it's gonna be like
I think we have some very
It's
dumb
gonna push.
coaching decisions that.
go into that.
Yeah, I think Campbell
I
kind
feel like it's gonna be
fumbles the ball here.
27-20 49ers.
I think Campbell kind of fumbles.
But it's like a
couple
backdoor
calls.
cover.
Okay.
He's going to try to go for it on a fourth down that he shouldn't have.
Like a fourth from his own one.
Or fourth from like his own 40 or something cocky.
Right.
And then they'll just turn that into 7 points.
Right.
Because that's where Purdy's good, is like, okay, dumbass.
Short field.
I'll just fucking hit the wheel route to McCaffrey and
Right.
he's going to score.
And like I said, I think he's going to have a fucking game.
He should.
So I would take all the props on McCaffrey. I would take the overs.
Yeah,
I'd take
and
the overs.
Detroit's front isn't that good. Like
I'd
Aiden
take him
Hutchinson is
touchdown
not
scorer.
good.
I'd take him over receptions. I'd take him
They're not going to
rushing
pressure
props.
Purdy that
all.
much.
Yep. I'd take
And if I were them, I would put Hutchinson on the other side of Williams every play.
Oh, for sure.
Like, what's the point in putting your best guy on
Correct.
your best guy?
Especially when
I've
your
never
best
got
guy
that with
is
Miles
like
either.
worse than TJ Watt. Like
Yeah.
Right.
he's not getting past
No.
Williams.
All right. Chiefs, so you actually said earlier you thought that was actually going to be a better game than the Chiefs at Ravens.
I think the Chiefs are going to shit on the Ravens.
So this one's the second game on Sunday, 6:30. I think this one has all the hype in it. I mean, I think this has potential. It could be a blowout, but I think that this one actually, I could see the Detroit and 49ers game being more of a blowout than this game.
I mean, I think the way that Baltimore wins this game is the defense makes plays.
Okay.
Kind of like how Oakland did against them, where they didn't score an offensive touchdown and scored 21 points.
And Mahomes has been throwing more picks this year than
And
normal.
somebody drops a pass, it goes up in the air, and there's always some dickhead in a black helmet right there. So, they're right there with the Steelers with that luck card.
I think the home field here is way more irrelevant than in the other game.
Okay. All right.
Because we've already seen Mahomes can win on the road.
I mean, okay. And
I'm not betting against Mahomes. I just can't.
I can't
at
either.
this point.
And I've been saying it.
Because
I
this
can't.
is
I think
the
it's
worst
more
team he's
Andy
been
Reid
on.
at this point than Mahomes. I think
He's got to actually do it.
I know, but he has the best game plan coming in and just fucking wins.
Oh, dude, Andy Reid is a maestro, and
He
he's
makes
going
such
to go
good
down.
adjustments at half too.
He's going to go down.
Look at him in the fucking Bills game.
Spagnolia,
Bills
though,
didn't
I
do
think it's
shit.
underrated.
Yeah.
Spagnolia is underrated.
People were talking about fucking RDC Schwartz
Yes.
having head coach. Spagnolia, whatever the fuck his name is, should have been a head coaching candidate for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was calling Spanish earlier. That's my bad.
But I mean, he's got those guys playing really well, and I don't know. I think the Chiefs have kind of. That's what you want. You want a top tier quarterback and an elite defense, because if you need 4 to 7 points in the last drive. You have the guy that can do it.
But Baltimore's not going to be able to run the ball like
well,
they
and
just
Baltimore's
did.
not going to be able to play from behind. They didn't do that last week. They haven't done that all fucking year.
Mm-hmm.
Their
And
run game is not going to be there.
That even
Because
as well
that's
as
going
they've
to get
been.
squished
You
first.
would think so. You would think
Well, Chris
so.
Jones in the middle. And
They'll-
they have
they'll-
good linebackers in
The
Kansas City.
Spagnuolo will absolutely sacrifice the Lamar big run play to stop the run game, just period.
Yeah. Well, and they have that. I can't remember his name, but that 32 linebacker. He's an absolute fucking athlete.
The Chiefs?
Yeah. Their middle
I'm not
linebacker.
sure
He's
what
a
his name
fucking.
is.
He's a stud. He'll be spying on him, and they're not going to let Lamar beat him up either. I think they're stout enough in the middle to make sure Gus ain't beating him. And I don't think Lamar's.
What happened to the fucking one dude that was a phenom there for like 2 games?
McDuffie?
No, for the Ravens, a running back.
Oh, that little scat back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was that
I
guy's
don't
name?
know. What did happen?
I don't know.
to
Did
that
he
guy?
get injured?
Because
I think
now it's like
he had
Justice Hill
he
is
had
that
to
guy.
He had to get hurt.
I have no idea.
Because
I
I remember
don't
the
either.
game after we beat him, like fucking Harbaugh was like, yeah, we should probably give him the ball more.
Yeah, no shit. He's averaging 40 yards a rush.
Yeah, he had to be because
Well, I was like,
remember they brought Dalvin Cook in now.
Yeah,
That
they
might
had,
be a big factor.
It may be fact.
Could be.
Because Dalvin Cook is... Why they didn't use him in New York, I have no idea.
Well, I mean, this is if there's any a week for Lamar to go out and say he's the MVP, it's to go out there and beat Kansas City.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's going to.
I don't think it is either.
So
Everybody's talking about the Taylor Swift Super Bowl. It's
I don't give a
not
fuck
fucking
about that.
Taylor. I don't either.
Oh, I was talking to
I
Dad.
don't want Baltimore to win.
I was
at
talking
all.
to Dad earlier
Correct.
about that. I was like, why are you? Who's like,
Who
oh, it's a
cares?
division. I'm like, who gives a fuck if they're in the division? You're gonna do
Yeah.
that with Pittsburgh?
Dude, I literally think I might fucking hate Baltimore more than Pittsburgh. I really think I do.
Okay.
I don't, but I hate them equally.
They're both just as lucky as each other,
Yes.
but Baltimore cheats way more.
I think I hate.
Yeah.
I think I hate Baltimore more,
I think I do
and I
too.
think the reason being is because I still have it in my head that was the Browns, even though it's way removed
Well,
from that.
right, and that's why I was like, Dad, you lived that. Like I
I
kind of
did
remember
too,
it.
and I just
I remember
yeah.
watching that fucking Super Bowl where they beat the fuck out of the Giants, and it was like, it was so, like we just got the team back.
yeah.
It was like
Right.
another slap.
What?
in the
That was
face.
2000. Yeah.
Yeah, 2000.
With Ray Lewis and them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got
I mean-
another young Ray Lewis there. Roquan is a fucking
He's a stud.
dog.
So I got a bit of a diatribe here, though. So I mean, I know the NFL fans, mostly men, are sick and tired of Taylor Swift being shown all season long. I feel like they want their NFL back, but there's no way in hell that I can pull for the Ravens.
No.
There's no way in hell.
All that is dumb. Who the fuck cares if there's more fans? You want there to be more fans.
You do want there to be more fans. I mean,
Only thing
Everybody else makes more money.
that, like it's
You're,
annoying.
you end up being cooler because you know way more than anybody else.
the Texans blasted the fucking Browns. I was not rooting against the Texans. I don't care if C.J. Stroud was a
No.
Buckeye or not.
I wanted
I
the
don't- I
Texans to win it all.
I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck if they won at all.
Yeah, because it's
Like
the fucking
they were
Ravens.
shitty enough to
Yeah.
be able to draft him. We were never getting C.J. Stroud. So
There's,
like, who gives
I mean,
a
there's
fuck?
just no
and
way.
then the next year, they win a playoff game. That's
Right.
awesome.
I mean, there's no way that I can root for the ghost of Art Modell and the bloody white fucking blazer that never showed up
Yeah.
and fucking Ray
Fuck
Lewis
them.
and Odell Beckham being the
I-
fucking
I-
mercenary for another Super Bowl.
I have the
and Jadeveon Clowney fucking
Well,
finally showing
I
up.
would
Yeah.
like Clowney. I like Clowney.
Fuck that guy. Fuck the Ravens.
the way he
Fuck them all.
He didn't even play his last game in Cleveland because he was a fucking asshole. But to me, I have the utmost respect for what Ray Lewis was as a player and Ed Reed.
Okay.
They were.
I like Clowney for murdering a Michigan football player.
Oh, that
That's
was
why I
awesome.
like him.
That's going way back though too. Yeah,
But that's still the same guy.
it is. It is. But I just can't. I can't.
No, I'm not fucking rooting for them. Fuck them.
I mean,
Yeah, I want
If you're a true-
absolutely want Kansas
in
City
my
to win.
opinion, if you're a true Browns fan, you
How?
cannot root for the fucking Ravens,
No.
regardless of your fucking despise
The Chiefs
for
are not
Taylor
our-
Swift
they're
and that
not our
whole
rival.
fucking
Mark,
situation.
we're talking to you, Mark.
Yeah, you, Mark.
Mark Wade.
Well, and the Chiefs,
You-
the Chiefs are not our rival. The Ravens
No.
are. Why are
Yeah.
you rooting? That's like, oh, I'm gonna root for Michigan because
There
they're
was
Big Ten.
even
Fuck that.
Yeah, but then you got fucking Cincinnati
That's-
fans in their fucking forums
That's
are
just-
talking
that's
about
Just
it.
think about what they're doing, rooting for the Ravens. Like, yeah, I kind of want Lamar to win another MVP. Like, oh, wow, Myles Garrett plays for the Browns. You want Lamar to win a fucking
Right.
MVP?
Right.
Are you stupid?
Right.
What the fuck?
Right.
Like, the best generational edge rusher there has been.
Right.
You want the quarterback that we rival and play twice a year to win MVP?
Right.
We're the last team to beat them.
Yeah.
So it's some of those. I'm also in some Bengals forums, just kind of sneaking in there and doing that.
Because
shit.
you love fucking shitty
I
chili.
love fucking
That's why.
just fucking, fucking trolling their chats. I mean, these dip fucks. You know,
Dude, if you get on,
They
Sean,
actually-
it's just because you put chili on your fucking pancakes. That's how much you love it.
just with beef bouillon in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
All of
mixing
it.
that shit
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
That brownish gray tint. Just fuck tomatoes.
looks like you have cancer shit.
So
Dude, if you get on
But-
Twitter, Bengals fans are literally the worst.
oh
Yeah,
They've made every single playoff outcome about them because they're not there.
yeah,
Because
of Burrow.
Burrow's out.
Right.
Joe Burrow, the system quarterback.
I used to not.
I'm gonna remember this.
I used to not
Dude,
hate
please
them.
do.
Pod 55. We're gonna bring it up.
I used to not hate Cincinnati, but dude, the last 2 years, I'm fucking over it.
But here's my point. And I know, that's been kind of a playoff rival now with Kansas City, and Cincinnati and Burrow, Mahomes, and that kind of shit. How in the holy fuck can you say that you despise Taylor Swift and Kansas City so much that you're letting a fucking division
Ravens
rival
win,
wanting to go to the Super Bowl?
Right.
You are not a fucking chili-eating asshole. Okay? Not a true one. It's just like the Browns.
The
fan.
Taylor Swift thing.
I'm
isn't
only
even
rooting
that
for
big
Detroit.
anymore.
Yeah.
It wasn't even Taylor Swift this last game.
So
it was
I'm going to
Jason
throw this
Kelce.
out. Right. So I want to throw this thing out here about Jason Kelsey. This is kind of a
Who
theory.
cares? It's awesome to see.
No, I do.
It's not like we're missing football to see them.
Right.
Let me ask you this. What if the NFL doubled down in their wisdom and all that shit with Jason Kelsey was also staged last week?
I don't think that happened.
Why?
think
Him
he's-
jumping out of the suite.
He's a man amongst men.
I don't
And
think
I love
he-
the guy.
I don't think you have to
I'm
stage.
just
I think he
saying-
did
Getting
exactly what I would have done.
Yeah, I don't think you stage that guy getting hammered.
I literally
I
when
don't
he
know
jumped
because he's up there and they're showing it the whole fucking time.
when he jumped out of that booth with his shirt off, I immediately took my shirt off, ran in the mirror, and I was like, I should be an offensive lineman in the NFL. Because I look exactly the same as
Right.
that guy.
Even though he's
Exactly
I-
the same. He might be 2 inches taller.
I actually showed it to my wife and I immediately got jumped. So I'm going to fucking pay, Jason Kelsey
Be a man.
There
homage.
you go. Yeah.
take his shirt off and get
Because
hammered.
that's
Get
what you
hammered
look
in
like.
public.
Babe, this is what
She's
Taylor
like,
Swift likes.
She's like, that guy's a professional football player. I'm like, fuck yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
You just said, I'm 1 year away.
Right. I'm just saying, what if it was staged?
I don't think.
I don't want it to be true.
I don't think that's the route they would go. They would probably do something way cooler.
Okay.
But it is that time in America where you want all those fucking faggy, lesser than men kind of fans to join.
Correct.
Yeah, like they should have been Dylan Mulvaney then instead.
I was gonna say they're gonna stage anything at this point. It's gonna be woke as fuck.
Yeah. I just think she likes Travis and they do the hot, stinky, nasty.
Perfect.
Which I don't like because I think she's a little perfect little angel. And he's just been with black chicks, so he's absolutely dicking her down. Like in the dirtiest of ways.
Oh yes.
But I also love that for him.
Yeah.
I do too.
I'm just kidding. I don't like Taylor Swift that much, but I don't care that much either.
I don't.
I haven't
I mean,
cared.
it gets. Here's my thing. It does get annoying. That you got to pan, and this went for anything. Even before Taylor
It's
Swift.
already, they've always.
Before
I don't know,
Taylor
but
Swift,
what was,
it
was
was
Jessica Simpson? But that was
Yes.
Yeah, Tony Romo and
Yes.
Jessica Simpson.
like, but it wasn't panning to her every fucking
No,
play.
that's the part that's getting over the
I
top.
think it probably was.
I remember watching.
But
the Cowboys
Jessica
play.
Simpson was never. She's not Taylor Swift.
No, she was a.
I
Fucking
I
babe.
think Taylor Swift is proving that we're in a simulation Because do you know anybody that listens to Taylor Swift?
No, I do not.
I've never talked to anybody that does, but yet she's the most popular artist
She's a fucking
right
billionaire.
now.
Yeah.
She's
not-
a fucking billionaire.
She's like Michael Jackson status. Well, turns out everybody I've ever talked to knows Michael Jackson songs.
Yeah.
Everybody I've ever talked to, nobody knows a Taylor Swift song.
Couldn't name one.
We're not that
Exactly. No.
I could
We're her
not
age.
name one.
Yeah.
If a fucking Taylor Swift song
I think
comes
that's
on at my
why we're in a simulation is because
yeah,
of that.
if my which they come on my place of employment, but I'm like, I'll ask somebody. I'm like, is this Taylor Swift or Kelly Clarkson or
Yeah,
Pink?
you
or,
wouldn't even know.
I would. They all fucking sound the same.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson comes on. I mean,
she's
you at least hear little
literally-
boys in the background.
She's. No, Daddy, no.
Oh,
But
that's
Fucking
literally,
Macaulay Culkin screaming
people
for his
that are-
life.
People that are that popular in music, everyone knows their songs.
Right.
Everyone. I don't know anybody that knows Taylor
right.
Swift songs.
Well, and dude, like Michael Jackson, like his shit's in movies. Like,
yeah.
what fucking? Where is her shit?
Where's all the fans? Like, what are her fans?
Right.
Because it turns out there aren't that many 15 to 11-year-old little girls in the world for her to be that rich.
Right.
And most of them, she goes overseas. None of them are even allowed to go to the shows.
Right.
Because they're already making shoes or married to some sheik.
Or jumping out the fucking Apple factory windows
Yeah.
Right.
and dying before Taylor gets there.
Yeah.
No, it's like a trampoline.
Okay. It's like
he's
it's like DK Metcalf. It's like DK Metcalf on that fucking TikTok. all right.
Sidetrack. Let's go.
All right. Pulling for the Chiefs. Or,
Yes.
yes, I'm definitely
Yes.
pulling for the Chiefs.
Yes.
That line opened at -2.5. It's now -4 in favor of the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So it went down, or people are putting money on the Ravens.
And the money is on the Ravens much more than the
Well,
tickets.
and I get it because they beat really good teams this year by a lot.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like Kansas City's getting
Kansas City's a different
hot
animal.
at the right
they're
moment.
a different animal.
And
They're
you still
absolutely
have
hot at the right time.
yeah.
It just sucks that I like the 49ers where they are. I like Detroit. But if you look back at Kansas City and Baltimore's seasons, they've won games, yes, but they've never looked really good.
Right.
Baltimore did against San Fran. That's about the only
They
game.
did.
In Seattle, they beat the fuck out of Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for a team that's
And
going
they
to
still
the
got
Super Bowl,
the
none
Niners
of them
turned it
have
over
looked
5
that
fucking
good.
times that game though.
Yeah.
5 times.
And the Niners haven't been the Niners this year after that. After we beat them, we broke them.
Yeah.
yeah, that was like week 5.
Five or 6.
Yeah, they went on a 3-game skid when
Yeah.
when we beat them. So
Yeah.
they lost to Kirk Cousins in Minnesota.
Baltimore just kept squeaking wins out.
Yeah.
and
So
I think I just hate Baltimore. to be
Well, and that
honest.
like they played. Was it the Rams where they got that punt return and like somebody blatantly got blocked in the back?
Yep, I sent you that
they got
footage.
tackled.
Yeah.
I remember
That
talking
was a
about
no
that.
call that should have got called. That was definitely a push in the back.
Yeah.
And that was an overtime.
Yeah. It was
The
It
game
was
winner.
the game that I
Game
said.
winner.
Yeah.
He literally tackled him.
Yeah.
And no call.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and about wrap this up, but we do want to. Did you get downloaded this, Ryan? I wanted to throw this out there. No, did you get the grid? All right, so we did a Super Bowl grid last year. In case you don't know how these work, if you've lived under a rock,
Did you
but
Gmail that to me?
On
I
your
did.
fucking flip phone.
I did.
What the fuck did you do?
It's been like this.
So we're going to do the, just like last year, we're going to do the second annual RawDawgers Super Bowl grid. Right now we have it lined up with AFC on one side, NFC. It's 100 squares. Each square is assigned a dollar amount. We're upping it this year from $5 to $10 a square. Max 5 squares. So I'd like to see a max of 5 squares on there. We're going to pay out.
Fuck that. Just let him buy them.
Well,
I don't think you need
nah,
to put
we're going to do a
max.
max of 5 squares. If it gets down and, I have a lot of squares to fill in, I might let some other people get in.
I would like
late.
to buy 14 squares.
Perfect.
Well, then we're going to do multiple boards if that comes to, because I got guys at work that
Okay.
are going to buy squares.
So we'd like to see this filled out. We're going to pay $200 a quarter this year, where last year we paid $100 a quarter. We're basically doubling up on it. So instead of going 5, going to 10, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the little bit of extra money there to help us pay for our restream, pay for some
upgrades.
Yeah, a few little upgrades if you like to listen to us. If you don't, maybe don't get in on it and give us a big fuck you by not buying a square. So, I mean, that's always a possibility too.
I've been a personal winner of a square.
I won last year.
$25 square on Ohio State, Michigan.
Nice.
And I got $400.
Oh, was that
to ease my pain? So
that was.
It was Nick Green.
Oh no!
It was a buddy of mine.
Okay, no, somebody else was doing that in our league there. The baseball coach from
Wareham.
Yeah, I bought one from him.
Yeah.
It was good. I knew the funds. I know how it worked out. It was good.
You can win. I've literally won. It was awesome.
Yep.
Even though Michigan beat us,
shout out to Tim.
I still went to the bar and spent all $400 of the dollars I just won. But I did win it.
Spears.
So I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to do the same thing I did last year.
It was a 7 a.m. morning, if you know what I'm talking about. Or 7 a.m. night.
Yeah.
We're going to do the same thing we did last year, too. If you go ahead and win a quarter, we're going to also throw in a RawDawgers Sportscast shirt. We have an excess amount of those.
And
maybe you'd like to throw us back a little bit of that money, and help us cover the cost of that shirt. We'd take that, too. That'd be fine.
Well, and, if we, our other guy that's on the shirt would make the fucking koozies, we could probably be able to give you some koozies. So
Mark Wade.
A year and a half later.
Mark Wade also hates Taylor Swift, so fuck him.
All right. Anything else, guys, you want to add to it or anything?
Nope.
So we're going to get this Super Bowl squares. You can text Ryan, me, Painter if you want to take any of them too.
Yeah.
Send it over if you want to Venmo us the money. That's fine. We can do it that way. You tell us which squares you want. If it's still available, we'll put you in. We'll try to keep you updated on the board. We come back on next week and let you know if the board's filled. If anybody wants to get in the chat and say, "Hey, I want this square next to so and so dipshit there," because they feel that they're unlucky and they're going to beat their ass. That's fine too. Or you can have us randomly pick squares for you.
Right.
So we can do it that way. But just one other little thing I wanted to go ahead and do too. A guy that's kind of been following us since the beginning. I worked with this guy for 20 plus years.
Always in the chat.
Yeah, always in the chat for us. Co-worker of mine, Rob Holsinger. I want to give a shout out to him. He passed away this week. 50 years old. Pretty much died on the job. Over at Park Avenue Kroger. I just want to give a shout out to that guy. He always wanted to get a shirt from us too, but he ended up taking the head meat cutter position over at another store. Never got back with him about that, but I definitely want to give that guy a shout out.
Feel for the family.
Absolutely. Feel for the family, feel for the kids. I don't know if there's anything we can do. I mean, we can barely get, 5 people in here to listen to our ass, but obviously, that might be something that, we would do. That might be another little thing we could do too, is, maybe throw a few shekels their way from this board.
Yeah.
We could do that maybe.
Yeah, sure.
That would be good. I just thought about that. Maybe we could just go ahead and do that and give it to his wife. And I know he has grandkids as well. So
how about this? I'm going to get some squares. If I win a square, it's going to go directly to him.
That's great. Okay. Big football. Yeah, he's a big football fan. He and I, we talked about it a lot. Big Dallas fan. So anyway, all right. I guess that's going to do it for us this week. Please go, once again, get over on TikTok and give us a follow. Even if you followed us on, because we need that 1,000 follower minimum to go live. I would love to be able to start going live on TikTok as well, because then you get the real nutbags coming in the chat on those ones.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Those people give 0 fucks. I mean, it's like a combination of Reels and Reddit.
Yeah.
Like they give 0 fucks.
I thought
at
you were
TikTok.
going combination of Fergie and Jesus. That's where I thought you were going.
Songbird of this generation.
All right, happy football, everybody. Hate Taylor. Do whatever. Fuck the Ravens.
Fuck the Ravens.
Go with the Go Browns as always, and hopefully.
And O'Doyle rules.
All right, Raw Doggers out.